show, taking on the Houston Rockets. That game will be at 7:30. Kevin Durant is a game time decision per Ime Udoka. Houston is currently a 5.5-point favorite in that one. Hear that right here on San Diego Sports 760. It's Car Care Month, and Summit Racing has what you need for bumper-to-bumper care. Revive the interior, exterior, and underhood, and more. Shop summitracing.com. Use promo code RADIO for $10 off an order of $100 or more. Exclusions apply. Offer ends May 3rd, 2026.
All right, let's get it going on a Tuesday. What's happening, everybody? It's San Diego Sports 760. Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long with you till 2 o'clock today. Sammy will keep the party rolling, then go along with Sammy, brand new from 2 to 3 every single day. Schaefer and Sliwa will be your drive home, our brand new afternoon drive show. Those guys doing a hell of a job. Fun tuning in on my drive home and your drive home. We got a lot going on today, so feel free to hit us up on YouTube at San Diego Sports 760. The team, of course, the free iHeartRadio app is open, and the TalkBack mic is there for you to use. So when you download the free iHeartRadio app, search San Diego Sports 760, add us to your presets with the little plus icon, and you can tap the little microphone. That will let you leave a 30-second voicemail that goes straight to Sammy's computer. We can play them all back on over the air. All right, coming up today, busy show because we got the Padres starting a 3-game series out in Colorado. See if some of these hitters can get back on track. We had another night of NBA playoff games that saw an all-time choke job by the New York Knicks. We'll get into that in a little bit. Lakers basketball on 60 tonight. You will hear our thoughts on game 2 as they head into another game with the Houston Rockets. Will Kevin Durant be playing or not? We may find out during this show. And then, of course, the NFL draft is 2 days away. So sound the alarm, everybody. Who is your team picking? Is your team
on the clock, baby?
Up in the draft? Yeah, the Las Vegas Raiders are literally on the clock. Here we go. So before we get into any of that, Sammy, you ready to have a great show?
Yes, sir.
How about a great show?
The greatest show.
The greatest show ever. Did we win long shots last night? I didn't look.
No, we did not. We had a rough start. The Pittsburgh Penguins, for some reason, forgot how to play hockey whatsoever.
Stupid hockey.
And very disappointed in Sid the Kid and the Penguins. And then what was my other bet? Oh, the over did not hit for the Hawks and the Knicks. I did, though, to give myself a little credit, call a 7.5-point underdog money line hit with the Minnesota Timberwolves. So I will take a little credit for that.
That Hawks-Knicks game was so weird, and we'll get into it in a little bit. But the fact that it seemed like at the end of that game, like the Hawks have this triumphant comeback, and then each team was saying, hey, you want to take this one? Or, hey, no.
Yeah, no one was trying to win that game.
You take this one. It was like both teams were trying to lose. It was chaos in the NBA playoffs last night. We'll see if that continues tonight. By the way, Lakers right here on 760 later tonight. But I do have some thoughts on this Padres thing. So they're heading on the road now for 6 games. They got 3 in Colorado, 2 in Mexico City. The 2 in Mexico City will be against the Arizona Diamondbacks. It's not the first time we've seen the Padres in Mexico City. If you remember a few years ago, there was all sorts of problems with the balls and the turf and everything down there in Mexico City, and it led to a couple of Padre wins, and it led to a ton of home runs for the San Diego Padres. Maybe that same thing will happen again here, but I think we're all focusing on whether or not Fernando Tatis Jr., like our text line's already saying, can Fernando hit his first home run of the year tonight at Coors Field? Whether Fernando Tatis Jr. can find that power and hit some home runs. Whether Manny Machado can get his season batting average up over 200 over the next 6 games or 5 games. Can the Padres offense get a little bit of that slug back and start seeing some balls fly out of the park? Maybe by the time they leave these 2 stadiums, Ramon Laureano, maybe he'll still be the home run leader, but maybe it'll be more than just 4 home runs. I think everyone's sort of looking at the Padres offense as if they can get back on track here. Not that they've been playing bad, but they just haven't been hitting with power. But I'm kind of like, my drive into work this morning, I started thinking about it a little bit differently, and maybe I came up with some reasons to freak myself out. But for me, it's not necessarily about the offense. Like, I expect the offense to get better and hit some home runs when they're at elevation. What's the average height? Like 7,000 feet over the next 2 series. But for me, I'm like, oh, well, this Padres pitching staff that has basically just had Band-Aids all over it. What if this is where the levees break? Like, what if they go to Colorado and they go to Mexico City and the Rockies, who, yeah, they're not a great baseball team and you just swept them at Petco Park in 4 games, but we know the history of the Padres going into Coors Field, and we know how bad it's been at times for the Padres. Like, what if this pitching staff that feels like it's being held together by glue and duct tape and a guy named Mason Miller, what if this is the time where we see the levees really break, and what does that do to the confidence of the pitching staff?
Well, when you play an elevation, you're going to have to score, and we've seen the Padres a lot, as evidenced by their last game on Sunday against the Angels. It's great that the Padres can win a game 2-1. It's great that you know that that's kind of in your toolbox, that they have the bullpen, they have the pitching staff, and at least in the back end, to shut down a game if you have a lead. But I mean, the Dodgers are split with the Rockies, and these were extremely high-scoring games for both ways. I mean, the Rockies hitters aren't terrible. Like Eric Harrelson is playing decent this year. There's some guys in that lineup that aren't terrible. The Rockies, where they really become the Rockies, is the pitching staff. That is where their bullpen is garbage, one of the worst in Major League Baseball, and they don't have too many starters. Jose Quintana got absolutely blasted last night from the Dodgers. So you don't really worry about them from a starting pitching perspective or their bullpen. So, right, everyone's going to have the headlines of, we're already seeing it right now, 858, I'm adding Tatis home run, Padres win in every long shots this week as they play the Rockies. That's a narrative. Like that, if we come out of this series and then the series against Arizona and we're still having conversations about Tatis and Machado not playing well, that's really concerning, because we're getting to a point now where you get a little bit of a pass the first week, maybe two, a month into the season. There is no excuse, especially when the rest of your team is playing such good baseball. But to that end about the pitchers, you do feel like the Padres have been living on the edge a little bit with these starting pitching. And that's what makes so much pressure on Tatis and Machado to get it going, because you can't realistically expect that Germán Marquez and Walker Buehler are going to keep putting up these numbers throughout the season, especially as guys get more tape on them. So this is a pretty important series the next week for the Padres hitting staff.
Well, and do you see Matt Waldron again, but this time at elevation? Like, did the Padres make that adjustment already after seeing him give up 6 runs in his first time out? I just think there's a lot of questions. My hope is that the Padres go in and just score 11 runs in every single game, right? And they're outscoring.
And they're fully capable of doing that, which is why it's frustrating when they don't.
For sure. So we'll see how it plays out. I will ask this question right now. Do we have any Padres fans who are in Colorado listening to us right now, and you're planning on heading to the game? Because I have heard tell of a legend of sorts out in Colorado. It's called the Glizilla. It is a 2-foot-long hot dog that is sold exclusively at Coors Field. Now we have Kevin Acee coming up on our show today at 1:30. Kevin will be
sitting next to someone who's eating that.
I want to be the guy eating that. That sounds incredible. If there's anybody going to Coors Field, please get the Glizilla. Please call into the show tomorrow or the next day. We would like to hear all about it and what it does to you, I don't know, 4 or 5 hours after you eat the Glizilla.
Oh, God.
I'm just very curious to see how a 2-foot hot dog on a 19-inch bun, which is, or no, what was it? It was a 23-inch hot dog on a 20-inch bun. I think that's what it was.
I hope everyone's physical isn't the next day.
But I would like to see what that does to you. So if you are in Colorado,
I don't think you want to see what that does to you.
Are attending Coors Field for any of the next 3 games, please let us know, and we can figure out how to get your hands on a Glizilla. All right, it's San Diego Sports 760. We do something called the Big Three every day. My name is Ben Fletcher. That's Sammy Long. Sammy is in charge of the Big Three, where he puts together the top 3 stories in the world of sports. We do some quick reactions to them, and we have a lot of fun while we do so. Sammy, if you will, smash it.
Your lunch break is here. Ready to go back to the office and knock the socks off your friends? Coworkers? It's time for the top stories of the day. The Big Three.
All right, text 913, Manny, that 186 average is not acceptable. Step up and stop acting like Luis Ariz. All right, well, 913, good news for you. Manny Machado's listening right now, so he heard that, and it's going to get fixed. Promise you that. Sammy, where are we heading?
All right, we got a lot to get to today. A lot of stories out here. Oh, let's start with last night. So the Hawks come back down 12 against the Knicks, win 107-106. And the Minnesota Timberwolves come back down 19 to Denver in Denver, end up winning that late. What loss was more detrimental to their team, the Knicks or the Nuggets?
Feels like the Knicks choking away that game to the Hawks is going to be more detrimental. I think the Nuggets will probably be fine. You kind of trust in Jokic, right? The Knicks problem is, like, what was the biggest lead at one point late in the game? 12 points late in the game. And they, even at the end of it, they have a chance to win, and they take a terrible kind of fade away shot in the half court. But like, the Hawks gave you every opportunity to still win that game, even after the comeback happened. The Hawks missed 2 free throws at the end. I don't understand how NBA players that aren't named Shaq are missing free throws at this clip. Every opportunity, the Knicks had to go in and close that, and they just couldn't get it done. So I feel like the Hawks have a little bit more life. Now, the T-Wolves have Anthony Edwards, so you feel like that could still happen, but it does feel like the more detrimental loss, just because of the emotions of the last 5 minutes of that game, was Hawks and Knicks.
I'm going to go with the Nuggets. Now, the Knicks, I do think, still end up winning the series. There's concerns because on the Knicks side of things, Jalen Brunson and Karl-Anthony Towns checked in with about 7 to 8 minutes left to go in that game.
They scored 15 points in the fourth quarter.
Right, and they were up 9. And I think you saw McCollum and the Hawks and Kuminga were hunting Jalen Brunson on defense. And Karl-Anthony Towns, it's just odd. He reminds me so much of Anthony Davis when he was with the Lakers. All the talent in the world can be a star, but then sometimes at the end of games would disappear. And last night, I don't know why they weren't getting him the ball late. I do think Quinn Snyder and that staff get a lot of credit for keeping that close, but in winning the game. But I think the Knicks have enough to get past the first round. The Nuggets, I don't know, man. Like, Jaden McDaniels was chirping on post game saying that they're all terrible defenders. They're not wrong. Now, maybe their scoring is too much for a Minnesota team that lacks other elite scorers, but Dante DiVincenzo's playing really good ball. Ayo Dosunmu off the bench is playing good ball, and Randall and Ant are going to work. It just feels like this Nuggets team is very flawed, and although we kept making excuses for them all year that once they got healthy, once Aaron Gordon was there, once Cam Johnson, they're going to be great. Well, all those guys are there now, and they're still playing awful defense. So I think there's some concerns for the Nuggets, and I do think Anthony Edwards and crew, with now stealing home court advantage, might end up winning this series.
One superpower that the Nuggets or that Minnesota kind of has is that Rudy Gobert does not seem to be scared of Jokic and is giving him the business and playing very, very physical on him.
Making him work on the defensive end.
Right. I still think Jokic is going to win you 2 of the games that are coming up here soon. So I feel like the Nuggets are going to be okay, but you may be right, Sammy. What's next?
All right, let's head to the NFL. Jay Jettis. So Kyler Murray looking like
Justin Jefferson, for those of you that don't know.
Oh, okay, yeah, Justin Jefferson. All my fantasy football players, I was assuming. So he was talking about Kyler Murray in the quarterback room. He said, quote, "It's really good to get some good talent in the room to give a little spark in that room to see a competitive edge and from those guys to really lock in and to do what they're expecting them to do, which is to come in and be that guy." Notice there's no mention of J.J. McCarthy in that.
It's always funny when you hear from players for the first time in a season, because sometimes they can tell you things that have already been decided behind closed doors that the public isn't necessarily in on yet. Look, I said it the second the Vikings got Kyler Murray, that he was going to be the starter this year. They've already kind of given up on J.J. McCarthy, because outside of one quarter early in the season, what did J.J. McCarthy really show you last year that made you think he could be a starter in this league? So Kyler Murray, who, say what you will about him, he is a legitimate Pro Bowl quarterback. I know the Pro Bowl has been kind of downgraded over the years, but Kyler Murray is that type of dude. He has that type of talent. Kyler Murray is going to be the starter there. What Justin Jefferson did yesterday, essentially talking about it as if it was already Kyler's team, shows you all the conversations that have already happened within Minnesota. Kyler's going to be the starter week 1. I actually think Kyler Murray and the Vikings are going to be a match made in heaven. They have excellent talent on the outside. Justin Jefferson is probably the best wide receiver in football. He just didn't have the right person throwing him the balls last year. So Kyler Murray could go and absolutely explode in Minnesota. I'm trying to get him in every fantasy football dynasty league that I'm a part of right now, probably overpaying for Kyler Murray, but I think this is going to be a home run.
Well, Kyler Murray was the next guy a few years ago. I think people forget, and some of it's his fault. Some of it, there's obviously a weird situation there when you're having Cardinals management write in his contract that he has to do game film and study, and there's always the reports about him playing too many video games. So, and a lot has been said about Kyler Murray in a negative way about him as a teammate, and it is telling that no teammates have really come out and squashed that, because normally when that's not the case, you're hearing people come to his defense. But in terms of on the football field, this is a guy who the Cardinals could not put an offensive line around for his whole career. They did draft Trey McBride. Marvin Harrison Jr. is a good player, but not a great player yet. And now you're walking into Minnesota with Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, TJ Hawkinson, a great offensive-minded head coach in Kevin O'Connell. And shout out to Justin Jefferson, because Justin Jefferson has caught like a little flack for this today. Justin Jefferson didn't say anything last year when his numbers were completely in the cellar.
He could have cried his way out of Minnesota.
Right. He could have pulled AJ Brown is winning Super Bowls.
Right.
And he's sitting there complaining about Jalen Hurts, and Justin Jefferson can't even get the ball in his hands on a team that was fourth in their own division.
And they just gave a quarterback who won a Super Bowl this year away for nothing.
Right. And he was kind of the good soldier, never really made a fuss. So credit to Justin Jefferson. He has certainly earned the right to want Kyler Murray over JJ McCarthy.
By the way, nobody considers Kirk Cousins a top 7 or 8 quarterback in the NFL. Nobody, I think, still considers Sam Darnold, even though he just won the Super Bowl, a top 7 or 8 quarterback in the NFL.
That's an interesting question.
Justin Jefferson was a top 2 wide receiver with
Right.
both of those guys. Like, there's something clearly wrong with JJ McCarthy if he can't make the best wide receiver in football look even semi-productive.
That's
all you need to know about Kyler Murray going to the Vikings.
That's an interesting question. Like, where does Sam Darnold stack? Because is it unfair to not have him as a top 7-8 quarterback?
Was he Super Bowl MVP? He played great in the NFC Championship game. He really did. But they were winning that Super Bowl with 90% of the quarterbacks in the NFL.
Well, it's funny. Like, who'd take over him? Mahomes, Allen, Burrow, Lamar.
Sure.
Herbert.
Trevor Lawrence, Justin Herbert. Trevor Lawrence was...
I'm a T-Law guy, so
that Jacksonville team could have won the Super Bowl this year, is all I'm saying. If they would have snuck past...
But they didn't.
They didn't, but that game against the Bills was incredibly close.
Look, I'm a big fan of Trevor Lawrence. I think he's been underappreciated. It does feel hard to put Trevor Lawrence over Sam Darnold when Sam Darnold just took down the Rams.
I would probably agree. Like, for the majority of his career, Trevor Lawrence, no. But last year's Trevor Lawrence showed you a lot.
It is funny in the NFC
if it was either the Bills or the Jags against the Seahawks in that Super Bowl, you're talking about a great game.
It is funny in the NFC how Hurts and Darnold have won Super Bowls. Purdy's been to Super Bowls. And we don't talk about any of them.
They all have asterisks.
They all have asterisks. And then, but it's funny how we give guys the benefit of the doubt, and Allen, Lamar, and Herbert and guys like that who have never won.
It's the eyeball test, man. You got to pass that thing. All right, we got to take a quick break. We do have some tickets to give away on the show today. We'll tell you exactly what they are coming up next. I'm sure I'm going to tell you all about the fun that's coming to Lakeside over the next week, so stay tuned for all of that. But coming up next, let's get into it. Lakers play tonight. Craziness in the NBA last night. We'll talk some NBA playoffs here. And then, of course, we'll get back to the Padres. We got Kevin Acee coming up in just a little bit. But also, did everyone see what Craig Counsell had to say yesterday? Craig Counsell, the manager of the Cubs. Well, let's tell you what it was. On the other side, it's San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app. San Diego Sports 760. Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long with you till 2 o'clock today. Sammy will take over then for a little bonus hour. We call it Going Long with Sammy. Schaefer and Sleewell will be your drive home. You just heard that keyword. That keyword is rich. So stop what you're doing. Get to a computer, get to your phone, go to sportssd.com, type in to the little box, rich, R-I-C-H, and you are in the running to win 1,000 buckaroos, which would be pretty nice right about now.
Hell yeah.
I like $1,000. I always will. We got 9 of those keywords for you throughout the day. Every hour, there's a new one. So you listen for that keyword, enter it at sportssd.com. You are in the running to win $1,000. All right. Craig Counsell is the manager for the Chicago Cubs. You can think however you want about Craig Counsell. I think what he said today was incredibly soft, or what he said yesterday was incredibly soft. And I'm going to try my best to take my Dodger bias out of it, which obviously I have. And Craig Counsell has some Dodger bias. And I think most people who aren't a fan of that team in blue have a little bit of Dodger bias to it. But what he was talking about yesterday was the Shohei Ohtani rule, which is that he does not count against the Dodgers 13 pitcher limit like every other Major League Baseball team has. And so my question to Craig Counsell, who said, what did he say? He said, it's a rule to help offense more than anything, if you ask me. And there's one team that's allowed to carry basically one of both, a pitcher and a hitter. And he gets special consideration, which is probably the most bizarre rule for one team. And he had emphasis on for one team. That one team is obviously the Los Angeles Dodgers. Now, what I would then ask Craig Counsell is, what is Major League Baseball supposed to do with Shohei Ohtani? Because if they make the rule the other way, well, then the Dodgers have one less position player than everybody else and are allowed to carry one less player than everyone else. The reason Shohei Ohtani has his own rule in Major League Baseball is because there's only one Shohei Ohtani. Every team is more than capable of taking advantage of this rule. Not every team has Shohei Ohtani on it, and he's a two-way superstar. And when you have a two-way superstar, well, you kind of have to, because what's the alternative? The Dodgers carry one less person overall than everybody else?
That's what's crazy. So the Dodgers also have a little bit of a disadvantage the other way, because they carry 14 players that count as a pitcher with Shohei Ohtani, so one more than everybody else. They carry one less position player. So they lack some, instead of 13 position players, they carry 12. So it's not like they're getting another person, a 27th player. And Dave Roberts' response, I thought, was very fair. It's like, then go sign a two-way player. Like, I thought we have seen baseball transcend with two-way players. Shohei Ohtani has taken over the game as the biggest star in the game, and it's not even close. It is. I mean, baseball has gained exponential growth because of Shohei Ohtani, whether people like him or not. And to put that rule in there, my also thing to Craig Counsell is this. That rule happened, I believe, in 2020. I didn't hear anyone complaining about it when it was the Angels. I mean, and I get it. People don't like the Dodgers, and the Dodgers have won, so it's easy to point to them and go, how can we make them worse? But, I mean, the Dodgers didn't have Shohei Ohtani for 3 years with the rule. So I don't remember people when the Angels could barely make the playoffs or was missing every year complaining that he was a two-way player not counting against. Now that the Dodgers are winning and Shohei Ohtani's there, we're hearing these managers come out and go against it. And my thing with the Cubs, it's like, I mean, everyone signed up to play. Like, you don't get to have it both ways, where it's.
I do think the Cubs were one of the teams who were also in on Ohtani, by the way.
Right.
Would this have been a different story if Ohtani was a Chicago Cub?
And again, I think two-way players are an exciting new development in the game, and Shohei Ohtani will, for generations, have inspired.
There may be a generation, by the way, coming. Like we saw this with Steph Curry. Steph Curry was hitting all the three-pointers. All of a sudden, look who's coming into college basketball
now, if you're a pitcher, you're a hitter in high school, you're like, wait, I don't have to just pick one. I can try to be, we see the best player in baseball plays both ways. So
the best player on every high school team is generally someone who can hit the crap out of the ball and someone who can pitch really well.
Right. And for years they told you have to pick one. And I think it's cool that the game is changing like that. So I trust me, Craig Counsell's not going to be complaining if the Cubs get a two-way superstar. Outside of the Dodgers and Yankees, if they had Shohei Ohtani and the Yankees too, outside of those two teams, this would not be an issue. It's just people don't like the Dodgers, so Craig Counsell's firing off about Shohei Ohtani. I didn't like this from him.
Which, to be fair, I don't like the Dodgers. So, Craig, I'm on your team. Yeah, make the Dodgers have one less player. I think that's the way to go with everything moving forward. I thought Dave Roberts' response, and I'll give him credit, was actually the perfect response. Think, go sign a two-way player.
Like, right.
You can take advantage
get
of this
one.
rule too.
Go get one of your own.
Go get one. All right, on YouTube, A-Band saying, I'm loving the throwback bumper music. Sammy, how about a little Poison coming up soon?
coming up next.
How about that?
A-Man always makes some fantastic music suggestions.
And then Rich on YouTube saying, cool that my name is the $1,000 word this hour. Yes.
It was all about you, Rich.
The keyword is Rich, R-I-C-H. If you would like to win $1,000, stop what you're doing right now. Go to sportssd.com, type that word into the little box, and you can win 1,000 buckaroos, which would be pretty nice right about now. All right, it is San Diego Sports 760. On the other side, NBA playoffs are in full swing. We got Kevin Acee coming up in an hour to talk some Padres baseball. I do still need a Padres fan in Colorado to order the Glizilla and let me know how it is. But it is San Diego Sports 760. You're listening live on the iHeartRadio app.
The support is sponsored by Mothers Against Drunk Driving. Lakers back tonight, game 2, looking to go up 2-0 on the Houston Rockets. That game will be at 7:30. Pregame coverage starts at 7:15 right here on San Diego Sports 760. Katie's a game time decision. Houston is a 5.5 point favorite to even the series. And we got the Padres taking the show on the road to Denver, playing the Colorado Rockies for a 3-game set. That game will be at 5:40. Vasquez going tonight for the Pods. For victims of drunk and drug driving, your grief is unique, but you are not alone. You always have a place at MAD. Call the 24-hour victim helpline at 877-MAD-HELP or visit mad.org.
A-Ban ask, A-Ban receive.
A-Ban receives. Great song request, by the way.
And Jay Silves, in the Bible of BBD, if I may, I'd like to share some personal insight with you boys, and that is you can never trust a big butt and a smile. True words have never been spoken.
I see what Jay Silves did there.
All right, it is San Diego Sports 760. SDFC is back on the road tomorrow night. They got the Houston Dynamo. Our coverage with Adrian and Darren will begin at 5:00 on your home for SDFC, San Diego Sports 760. If you missed any of our interview with Darren Smith, you can find some of it, a portion of it, when he was talking about the Padres' new ownership group at, what's our Instagram account? Sports 760. I'm pretty sure it's Sports 760.
Yeah, Sports 760.
Sports 760 on Instagram. You can find it there. I know I've reposted
SD Sports 760.
SD Sports 760. It's different than the Twitter account. I know I reposted it on my Instagram as well at Fletch Sports. You can find it there. Darren offering some really nice insight on the Padres' new ownership situation. All right, Sammy and I have been fighting behind the scenes pretty much all day long today. This is silly to me. It's kind of dumb, but Sammy's all about it. So we do have breaking news. The release date for Drake's new album has been found in the giant block of ice that was in Toronto, where people were literally taking pickaxes and like different heating elements to this giant block of ice that
we
Drake
had to
put
see what
outside.
the 6 God was when he's gonna drop.
So what's the release date?
We don't know.
What you just said, it's been found.
So it was found. For those who don't know what we're talking about, Drake has an album called Iceman.
I thought that was Caleb Williams' nickname.
No, it's Drake's nickname. Drake. No, the 6 God is Drake's name. It's his album. Anyway, he put it,
Iceman.
He put a giant block of ice in Toronto, and he said in the middle of it is his album's release date.
You literally had teenagers climbing on top of this thing with pickaxes.
There's like a whole crowd. It was huge.
It looked like Minecraft.
Yeah, it was
Fortnite.
People took it seriously, and then so a streamer just found it, and then he was gonna open it, and he ended the stream right as it happened, which is very selfish and rude for all of the Drake fans around the world.
Well, congratulations to all the Drake fans. This album's gonna suck, dude. He's been like 6 months of nonstop pub. You know when a movie gets too much like pre-hype to a movie, like they spend too much making trailers, they spend too much
Drake
time.
always delivers though.
That's not true. I don't think there's been a good Drake album since like The Motto.
That is so not true. You think Views has been bad? You think
Not for me.
No Friends in the Industry? Stop. That's
not for
crazy
me.
Take.
I think that the album where he's like sitting in a restaurant, the album that had Marvin's Room on it, that came out when I was in high school.
Hold on, let me look at it.
I don't remember the name of the album, but that was a good album.
I want to make sure we quote these albums right.
Since then, I don't know.
You're telling me Views, great album.
Is that the one where he's like sitting on top of a skyscraper?
Yeah, that one. Certified Lover Boy, great album. Her Loss, great album.
Certified Lover Boy. Didn't Kendrick make a song about that?
It was a lyric and not like us. You had the best rap beef going on in 25 years. Listen, we're all here for a Drake album.
Yeah, it's just he spent 6 months teasing everybody. When do you think it's gonna come out? Is this like a week? Is this a day?
Yeah, I bet in the next week or two.
Iceman.
Here's the thing though.
I thought that was Val Kilmer.
The industry tried to cancel my guy, and yet he's still there. And he's still one of the most streamed artists in the world.
Sir Will gets it. If it isn't Chicago, Fletch isn't feeling it. Yeah. I'm like Chicago, Boston, great bands. Country music, incredible. Drake was great 10 years ago.
Drake has almost as many number one hits as Michael Jackson.
Where
You're saying he's terrible.
Drake hit his peak was that song Forever that had Drake and Kanye and Lil Wayne.
One of the
Eminem.
first songs he ever dropped.
God, that song was good. Ever since then, I don't know about it, man. Kiki, do you love me? That song's pretty
Name a rapper that has owned the 2010s more than Drake.
Oh, no, it's Drake. But maybe I'm just more of a Lil Wayne guy. I've recently been listening to like Swag Surfing and Kobe, the old Lil Wayne songs.
Dom, our sales, our number one sales guy is.
Hi, Dom.
chiming in that he only likes one Drake song.
What's the one Drake song, I wonder?
I don't know. He sent me some YouTube link. I don't know if it's appropriate for air.
Probably not. I do like the song The Motto. That one's good.
Great. See, you're listing a bunch of Drake songs.
I like Marvin's Room. That one's really good. By the way, Houston, Atlanta, Vegas, great song.
He started all these guys' careers.
Rick Ross. Now, you're saying Drake started all these guys' careers?
No, Rick Ross. All these guys that switched up on him, ASAP Rocky, Rick Ross, all these guys, he started their careers. They wouldn't be where they were without the Sixth God.
Okay, sounds good.
We could do 2 hours on Drake just right here.
You and Kat Fisher should do a Drake podcast because I've never met 2 bigger Drake fans.
Kat's a big Drake fan?
She loves him.
That's why she's the coolest one on that show.
Well, debatable. All right, it's San Diego Sports 760. The NBA playoffs are going on right now. I actually think, didn't Toronto do something with Drake where they froze a couple of seats for the Iceman thing?
Exactly. You see that kind of promotion? That's the kind of promotion we need for this show.
What happened to the Drake curse? I thought that was a thing in sports. But okay, so let's talk some NBA playoffs. Lakers get going again tonight. They got game 2 against the Houston Rockets. KD, do we have anything new or is it still game time?
It's game time decision. So the right knee contusion, apparently he has a bad bruise on in his knee, and it seems serious. Now, the Rockets keep going when this happened Friday night when it came out. So apparently he got hurt in practice diving after a loose ball midweek last week. And then they kept it quiet until they had to release the injury report on Friday night, then kind of made it seem like he's going to play, tested it out before game 1, didn't feel good enough to go. My guess would be that he would play tonight, but even if he's playing, is there going to be a minutes restriction? Because obviously the team goes as far as Kevin Durant's availability.
Look, Houston's being cagey about this. I would say as they should be cagey about this, but I do have a feeling that KD, if they thought that this series was in danger before game 1, which the series is absolutely in danger now, but if they thought it was in danger before game 1, KD would have played game 1. And they were doing a little bit of gamesmanship trying to say, well, if we hold him out of this game, give him a little bit more time to get healthy.
Right, and see if you can beat the Lakers without him.
Exactly right. Maybe they don't even need him for this entire series. Then you have a fully healthy and fully rested KD for whatever's to come in the next round. Clearly, it looks to me like they're going to play him tonight. They got to play him tonight because otherwise Houston's in big trouble. What was the biggest thing they were missing against the Lakers in game 1? And that was having a shot maker. Well, they might have one of the best shot makers in NBA history sitting on their bench for the entirety of game 1.
There's a lot of unknowns for this game tonight because obviously if Kevin Durant comes back, that's a massive add for the Rockets and something the Lakers are going to have to deal with. In metrically, so the Lakers shot about 61%. You expect that to come down a little bit. On the other side, the Rockets out-rebounded the Lakers 21-3 on the offensive glass, 44-35 overall, and took 27 more shots than the Lakers. So if we're talking about like regression, like usually over a 7-game series, you're seeing these kind of numbers even out. Will the Lakers probably shoot as effectively from the field as they did in game 1? Probably not. Are the Rockets going to rebound as well as they did on a night 1? Probably not. You got to expect that Jackson Hayes will have a better game. There's a lot of unknowns with this game tonight. And even though Kevin Durant is maybe back and it's a huge addition in terms of his scoring and elite level shot creation, it still doesn't solve the problem Houston has of that they don't have a point guard. And Kevin Durant, Reed Shepherd are being forced to bring the ball up and get into the action in the half court. And this is why they didn't get any easy buckets. Like the Lakers, if you had to pick one team to play without Luka and Reeves, the one thing without them playing, and obviously every Laker fan, including myself, want them back, is they're actually better defensively when they're not on the floor. So they're not getting, because they don't have a point guard, the Rockets are not getting easy blow-by buckets. Everything is about running a half-court set. And this is why the Lakers and JJ Redick outcoached Ime Udoka in game 1 and were able to make it tough on them and bully them down low because they never got any easy buckets to the rack.
There's a chance that's the only good game you got tonight, and lucky for you, it's here on 760. So if you're driving around tonight, I think pregame will get going around 7:15 on 760, tip off around 7:30, because the Spurs are double-digit favorites. The Celtics are double-digit favorites over the Sixers. Those were two when we did our list yesterday of what series are alive, what series are dead. Two of the dead series were the Spurs on Portland, and the other one was Celtics and 76.
It's a shame with the Sixers that Embiid isn't there, because you feel like that could actually be a series, but with him out, they don't have the talent.
Pop quiz. Do you have your appendix inside your body still?
I do.
Weird.
I think so.
I do not. I still got the scar to prove it. I was 3 years old and mine popped like a balloon.
3 years old.
3 years old. Hospital for a week, baby. Scary times.
Wow. I had a friend who just had his removed.
Travis, TD, his daughter had hers removed, and for about a week she was dealing with this severe pain, and he just kept saying, "Yeah, you need to fart," and didn't realize that his daughter had appendicitis, and things could have gotten bad really quickly. If you've ever had a kid that is dealing with appendicitis, it's like that's an emergency room situation. You need to go to the hospital immediately.
I'm a hypochondriac, so I've heard these stories. Like my friend was telling me about it. He kept having this pain and was like, something's wrong.
Go to the hospital.
Like go to the hospital. So now, because I'm a hypochondriac, every time I have a kind of pain in that area, I'm like, is it time to get in the ambulance?
Yeah, watch out, Sammy. That next burrito you have, maybe it's not just the burrito. Maybe it's a little more than that. Appendicitis is no joke, man. Seriously, listen to your kids if they say they have a stomach ache.
Yeah, don't be like Travis Dale and be like, oh, you're fine.
Yeah, Travis literally, he said for like 3 or 4 days, he was just like, yeah, you just got to fart.
Rub some dirt on it.
Yeah, that's not always the case. All right, it's San Diego Sports 760. If you're wondering why we got on appendicitis, that's what Joel Embiid had. That's why he hasn't been playing in these games.
That was a very productive segment. We hit Drake, hit the rap for the last 20 years, hit some NBA, and then finish off with a little life lesson by
I've just been thinking of more Drake songs that I actually do like, but they all came from like 2009 to 2012.
858's weighing in on Drake conversation. There's 2 eras of Drake: Drizzy, the GOAT, young six god, and then there's the world's biggest pop star.
See,
Drake.
That might be me. I like early Drake because I was thinking about that song. It's far from over. I like that song a lot, but that was on the album where like half his face was red, half his face was white.
That's the early stuff. That's 2010.
That's really good. And then whatever he's been doing lately, I don't know if it's all TikTok music to me. All right, San Diego Sports 760.
Disrespectful.
We got long shots on the other side. Now, we're not playing Shake Your Money Maker because we didn't win last night. So can I make a request?
Okay.
Chicago?
Well,
25 or 624?
What's a better vibe going into long shots? Chicago or Drake?
Dude, Chicago, this song slaps. Fine. Sammy, you're going to like it. 25 or 624. We're going to get a winner on Chicago.
I'll play it coming out.
All right, it's San Diego Sports 760. You're listening live on the IR radio app. Long shots next. Hey, it's Fletch, and look, you have a lot of decisions to make on the day-to-day life, especially if you're a mom and dad, you got young kids, and you're like, what do we do? Every time we leave the house, you feel like you're dropping another $200. Dinners are crazy expensive now. Well, I got an event that's coming up in San Diego this week that's A, sure to put a smile on your face, and B, it's not going to break the bank. It's the Lakeside Rodeo. It's going down this Thursday through Sunday out on the Lakeside Rodeo grounds, just off the freeway a little bit. You can go check it out. If you've never been to a rodeo before, take it from me. Rodeos are awesome. It's fun. You're going to be smiling the entire time you're there. It's great music. It's great laughs. It's great family environment. You got to get out to the Lakeside Rodeo. It's the 62nd annual Lakeside Rodeo, and it's built for families. It's fun. It's affordable, and it's something that everyone can actually enjoy, not one of those events where all of a sudden your wife is going to be poking you in the shoulder like, hey, can we leave? We got to beat the traffic out. That's not what it is. The Lakeside Rodeo is just fun. Plus, it's supporting the El Capitan Stadium Association, which is a local nonprofit that gives back to local youth in Lakeside. So make a plan, bring the crew, bring the family, and check it out this Thursday through Sunday. Get your tickets now at lakesiderodeo.com. That's lakesiderodeo.com. You can buy tickets now and enjoy it this Thursday through Sunday. lakesiderodeo.com. I'll see you out there. Oh, it's brewing. There's a winner coming, baby. If you come in with Chicago, you are guaranteed to win in long shots. That's what I'm saying.
You ever heard you ever seen Little Nicky?
Oh, with Adam Sandler?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
You remember the Chicago scene?
I don't know if I do. It's been a decade since I've seen that movie. Probably.
I will send it to you. If you've little fan of Little Nicky, you know the scene. I can't necessarily explain the scene on air because I don't know if I can talk around the joke. But
maybe don't risk it.
Yeah, maybe we won't.
We got game 2 of the Lakers tonight. First round matchup with the Rockets. Can the Lakers go up 2-0 or will Houston answer? Pregame begins at 7:15. Tip off at 7:30 right here on San Diego Sports 760. You're home for Lakers basketball here in San Diego. Sammy, thank you for bringing us into that song. I know there's a bunch of like 50 to 60-year-old dudes who are loving it when that comes back in.
No, I love,
that song actually has one of the sickest guitar solos you'll ever hear. And you're like, Chicago, they're known for their horn section. They're known for their hearty vocals, but no, it's a great guitar solo.
We've had a good mix today. We've had Chicago, Bobby Brown, and Belle Biv DeVoe. What is coming up next? We've hit the 70s, 80s, and the 90s so far today.
We'll really never know. All right, Sammy, let's get to long shots for today. Last night was a loser. That doesn't mean you can't bounce back. There are 3 NBA games in action. The Padres are in Colorado. I feel like there's some overs a brewing. Sammy, smash.
You looking for some luck? Want to win big? Gotta play big.
You are so money, you don't even know it.
Time to take a chance.
Pay that man his money.
With long shots.
It is San Diego Sports 760. Sammy puts together a little combination, we call it every single day, for you to go win some money on whatever you're watching in sports tonight. Sammy, we going heavy NBA?
We got some association and some hockey.
I like it. Let's get it started.
All right, let's start with the NBA. We got the Sixers and the Celtics. Now, I was a little disappointed in how poor the Sixers played in night 1. Now, they're coming off the play-in win. They dominated Orlando, and then the Celtics are waiting on that game. So I figured that they were probably going to perform well, but they got blitzed from the get-go in that. I'm not calling the Sixers. The spread is 14.5, so I'm not necessarily feeling good with the Sixers on the road. What I like, though, is the over in the game. Over 217.5. The last game was 123-91. The Sixers didn't hold up their end of the bargain. Look, the Celtics are going to be able to score points. I mean, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown. We're not talking about Neemias Queta and Peyton Pritchard, Derek White. I mean, they got scores everywhere. And I get the Celtics are one of the best defensive teams in the NBA. I like the over 217.5 because I do think the Sixers have a better offensive showing tonight. They don't play a lot of defense, so the Celtics should be able to score at will. Andre Drummond had 21 minutes. He only had 2 points. He has to step up. He has to be more of a focal point of the offense in this game tonight. And they got in some foul trouble early. Maxey only had 21 on the night. Paul George took 8 shots, 17 points. I'd expect Edgecombe, these guys, to play better. I like the over 217.5. Could still be a blowout, but I just think Philly shows up a little bit more.
Feels like Andre Drummond's been doing it a long time, man. He's got to be 32, 33 at this point.
He has to, if they have any shot taking this game, him, Watford, these guys have to make Queta and these guys work, because if Queta and Vucevic get to do whatever they want, this game's over.
Now, is there any worry that if it is a blowout, everyone's pulling everyone in the fourth quarter? Like, I could easily see the Celtics going to B squad in the fourth quarter if they're up by 15, 20 points.
I think this game ends up being a blowout. I think it's much closer for the first half than last time. So I think it's late. So I like the over in this game, 217.5. But yes, that always is a concern. All right. Let's go to the NHL. Bruin Sabres. Give us Boston plus 145 on the money line. Listen, the Buffalo Sabres had not been in the playoffs in over a decade. It was a cool story watching them. I mean, that place was going crazy the other night. They got down 2-0 in the game. Tage Thompson, Alex Tuch really kind of they scored 4 goals in the span of almost just under 7 minutes.
You're saying Boston money line?
Boston money line. They're plus 145. I think the Bruins respond in this game. Look, they dominated the first 2 periods. They dominated the first 2 periods and then 10 minutes, and they completely fell apart because the crowd was on fire. The crowd's going to be a factor in this game, but the Boston Bruins have been here before. I mean, David Pastrnak, Elias Lindholm. These are guys who have played in big-time games before, and Jeremy Swayman is a veteran goalie in the NHL. I think they stable the ship. I think this thing goes back to Boston 1-1 plus 145. Give me the Bruins on the money line. I think they respond tonight. All right, Kings and Avalanche. Now, my LA Kings are very frustrating. Okay, feels like we get to the playoffs every year, end up getting bounced by Edmonton 4 years in a row, finally playing the Colorado Avalanche. The Colorado Avalanche, though, won the President's Trophy, which is the best record in hockey during the regular season, or most points gathered by a team in the regular season. Historically, actually, in the NHL playoffs, teams that win the President's Trophy don't always have the greatest success in winning the Stanley Cup. The Kings' problem is they're missing Kevin Fiala right now. He's injured after getting hurt in the Olympics run for Sweden. And the Kings are lacking some scores. Outside of Adrian Kempe and Quentin Byfield, Artemi Panarin, they don't have a lot there. But the Kings did miss some easy opportunities in that game one. Drew Doughty missed one right by the net that should have gone in. Trevor Moore had a couple opportunities he passed up on. And the Colorado Avalanche, despite the Kings being one of the better defensive teams in the NHL, I think that the scoring is a much higher scoring game tonight. Anton Forsberg was great for the Kings. Both goalies were fantastic. Over 5.5 goals in this game, though. I think it's a much higher scoring game. I think the Avalanche bring it. Forsberg can only hold up so long. And I think the Kings actually have a much better offensive showing because that game one was really up for grabs and they didn't take advantage of some opportunities. I think the Kings keep this close tonight. Over 5.5 goals for that game. And then we're going to the NBA.
A Forzy?
We're Forzy.
Oh my God. The power of Chicago.
The power of Chicago. Rockets, Lakers. I can see Fletch getting antsy over there.
That's because your Lakers pick never hit.
Where's Sammy going to go? Where's he going to go? Give me the Lakers plus 5.5.
Oh my God.
The Lakers plus 5.5. I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why. They're telling you that Kevin Durant is going to play. But even if he doesn't, this line right now, there's plus 5.5 heading into game one. So even if he does it, you're going to get some value. This spread is going to come way down if by game time Kevin Durant is not playing. Even if Kevin Durant plays, Houston needs to win this game. But the underlying metrics, they took 27 more shots than the Lakers. They out-rebounded the Lakers by 9. They out-rebounded the Lakers on the offensive glass by 18. The Lakers turned the ball over 5 more times than the Houston Rockets, and yet they still won by 9 points. I think people are not taking into account the fact that Houston does not have a point guard. LeBron's going to take on a much more aggressive offensive role tonight. And I think Rui ends up being the MVP. He is going to be taking a lot more shots than he did in game one, having 14 points. The Lakers are covering the spread, plus 5.5. I think they're going to win the game outright tonight, but it's going to be a close game, plus 5.5. Get you on the spread.
I'm leaving that one off of mine. If you would like to have faith in Sammy, you can. I don't know if I trust it at all. All right, we got Parker McCollum tickets. We'll give those away in hour number 2. Parker McCollum's an awesome young country singer. My wife is in love with him, so maybe buyer beware on those tickets. But Ticketmaster.com, June 18th, Viejas Arena. If you want to go see Parker McCollum, we'll be giving those tickets away coming up in hour number 2. It is San Diego Sports 760. Kevin Acee is going to be joining us in hour number 2. And when we got some more thoughts on the Padres going up into elevation, plus the NFL draft is 2 days away, and we have not talked about it yet. That's next. It's San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app.
The sport is sponsored by Taco Bell. San Diego Padres taking the show on the road, taking on the Colorado Rockies. Randy Vasquez will be on the mound. That game is at 5:40. And the Lakers, Rockets, game 2 live from Los Angeles. Hear that game right here on San Diego Sports 760. It'll be at 7:30. Houston is a 5.5-point favorite. KD is a game time decision. Taco Bell turned Diablo sauce into a dust. They're dusting the new Diablo dusted crispy chicken nuggets in it. A brand new classic only at Taco Bell at participating U.S. Taco Bell locations for a limited time and while supplies last.
I'm Ben Fletcher. That's Sammy Long.
I'm excited about it. It brings a lot of people together.
Now, live from the East Set Studios of San Diego Sports 760, we go in the zone with Fletch and Sam.
Dang, dude. That sounds amazing. Whatever Sammy just read during the update.
I'm looking at the copy right now.
They
There's
say the Diablo sauce, they put it in a powder.
Hold on, let me pull it back up.
Yeah, pull that back up. We're going to need to do a deep dive.
Should we do another read?
The new offering is at Taco Bell.
So
I thought I heard Diablo sauce, which is my favorite of the hot sauces at Taco Bell, is a powder that they are now frying chicken nuggets in. Is that what I heard?
This report is sponsored by Taco Bell. The Taco Bell turned Diablo sauce into a dust, and they're dusting the new Diablo dusted crispy chicken nuggets in it. So wait. Hold on.
Let's rewind the clock a little bit to 420. How many people were getting some of this dusted Diablo sauce?
Oh, I bet Taco Bell was having a field day last night.
Go. That sounds amazing, dude. I'm going to go to Taco Bell right after this.
You know what I wonder? If we have any Postmates or Uber Eats delivery drivers out here.
I'm all about DoorDash personally.
DoorDash is fantastic as well.
I get free DoorDash premium with my credit card, so that's kind of lit.
Whatever one gets me the order the fastest. Is 420 the biggest night of the year for DoorDash?
Oh, it's gotta be. I would imagine maybe like New Year's Eve. Probably get a lot of people who get a little turned up and then need to get something sent to the house.
But I feel like on New Year's Eve, yeah, I guess so.
Look, because you're thinking about like,
but a lot of people are like, I guess you're
I
not
feel like when I use DoorDash or something, it's because I know that there's going to be crazy traffic and I want to get something delivered without leaving my house. But I would imagine like 420 is probably a big one. I bet you like the Super Bowl is probably a big one. People getting wings delivered to their house, stuff like that.
Are you a leave it out front person or go get it from them?
Oh no, I like to have a conversation with everybody. I
like to have a combo
because I want to look in their eyes because I can usually tell whether or not someone snuck a couple of French fries. And I want to be able to look in their eyes so that when I come in the house and I see my Wendy's fries container a little bit empty, I want to be like, I know who this was. This was Chris M.
Chris M. Chris M is getting 1 star. I
also wait to tip. You know how they give you the option to tip right away?
See,
I will wait to tip until I get it. And if they do a great job, if everything looks sealed up and presto, they are getting 5 stars and they are getting a big tip.
I'm such a generous human being, just as a lot of people say about me. I tip before always. And then, but I had a situation last week where someone dropped my order down the block. I was literally going door to door and dogs started going crazy. I was like, oh, I'm so sorry.
Can you
my
imagine?
Neighbor.
You live in a neighborhood up in North County, San Diego, and you see a Gumby ass looking dude who's 6'4" with perfect hair walking door to door, looking on doorsteps. I'd call the cops so
I was
fast.
like, literally,
if I saw a loose Sammy Squatch walking around my neighborhood, be like, where's my Chipotle?
Seriously, someone was like, what are you doing? I was like, I'm so sorry. I'm looking for my Chipotle order.
You'd get the cops called on you so fast if you were in like a nice Rancho Bernardo neighborhood and Sammy's walking around just long ass steps walking and trying to figure out going.
Dude, I was like, what's so hard about my address? Like, how are you dropping this?
My catalytic converter? That's what I would think. First things first.
I'm like, how are you just dropping it down the street? Just rando someone's house.
Addresses are hard sometimes. Hey, it's San Diego Sports 760.
You mean like how it maps you directly to the house?
We got a lot coming up this hour. Kevin Acee is going to be joining this hour. We have Parker McCollum tickets to give away this hour. If you don't know who he is, he's awesome. He's a young up and coming country singer. He used to open up for Dierks Bentley. I've seen him like 3 times because of that. But Parker McCollum puts on a hell of a show. So he's going to be at the Viejas Arena coming up. If you would like to go to that show, we have a pair of tickets for you. And we'll have a pair of tickets tomorrow and Thursday and Friday this week as well. So stay tuned for those. All right, NFL draft. We are like 2 days away. It's fair to say like the Raiders have been on the clock since the end of last season. The Raiders are actually on the clock right now. And by the Raiders being on the clock right now, I actually mean the Jets are on the clock right now because we all know what the number 1 overall pick is going to be, right? It really does feel like the NFL draft starts at 2 this year, which it does a lot of years. But if Fernando Mendoza
a lot of years it's later. A lot of years like 4 or 5.
Right, because a lot of years you'll have multiple quarterbacks who are going with the top couple picks, or you have a Nick Bosa in the draft who everyone knows is going number 2. But this year it really does start at 2. And I don't know that there's been a consensus on the number 2 overall pick yet. Sammy, you're mock drafting right now. Who's number 2?
I would go David Bailey. I think it's going to be Arvell Reese, the pass rusher from Ohio State. The Jets, so a report came out. They're deciding between David Bailey and Arvell Reese. They canceled a meeting with David Bailey the other day. Jets ownership said, don't read anything into that. That was just canceling a meeting. But the Jets and Cardinals are kind of interesting because the Jets and Cardinals, I think a lot of people just presume whatever the Jets do at 2, taking Reese or Bailey, the Cardinals are going to take the other one and just get 2 elite pass rushers. But it does feel like neither of those 2 teams are in a position where they're a pass rusher away. And listen, you have to have a generational pass rusher to be winning Super Bowls. So I get it. You need a foundation, but considering how good the quarterback class is next year, loaded with, we could see 5, 6 first round quarterbacks next year. You feel like with both of those teams that need a quarterback, the Jets and Cardinals, wouldn't you be dangling out to a Cowboys, to a Chiefs, to a Giants to see if they want to move up, get a bunch of draft capital for next season, and then really be able to pinpoint and get the quarterback that you want versus whoever falls to you?
It does feel kind of obvious to me that like the Jets should be a team that's looking to move back because they're so far away from even being considered a potential playoff team. Like the Jets are a team that should absolutely move back. I think the Cardinals sitting at 3 are a team that should absolutely move back because the Cardinals don't know what
I think they want to, because they would probably ideally like to move back and take Ty Simpson, but they can't take him at 3 because that's way too high.
The Cardinals should do everything they can to be terrible this year. The Cardinals should be one of those teams who's hunting a first overall pick next year. They're not going to. They have too much talent around Jacoby Brissett as of right now to be a team that can do that. But you're going to find yourself in purgatory if you are the team that ends up taking Ty Simpson, and you're probably going to take him way too high. Like, does anyone think that within the next 5 years we're going to be talking about Ty Simpson as one of the 10 or 15 best quarterbacks in all of football? I don't see that future personally, and I don't think there's a lot of NFL guys who are seeing that future either with him. I've been listening to a lot of Daniel Jeremiah recently on his podcast with Bucky Brooks, and the way the draft should go, if you're the Arizona Cardinals, this is a draft where you could drop back a little bit and get a ton of defense to help build out your system. And then next year, go up and get you a quarterback, because you could go into next year with multiple first round picks again with the ammo to go up and trade to get the number 1 overall or the number 2 overall. And you're going to be stuck with a quarterback that's probably better than Mendoza or Simpson.
The Simpson conversation is, like we talk about, is Mendoza's earned his stripes. Mendoza would be a top pick if everyone was available. He might not be number 1. If Arch Manning or Sellers or one of these guys or Dante Moore, he might not be number 1. But he's a Heisman Trophy winner, won the national championship. You can't really doubt his credentials. But we do feel like if all these guys were here, he would be knocked down a peg. And then take that times like 5 with Ty Simpson, because Ty Simpson is just the next best option. So which of the Jets, Steelers, Cardinals, all these teams that need a quarterback are going to bite in the mid round? That's where I think we're going to see our first surprise in the NFL draft.
All right, we are going to get to the big 3 here in just a second. Kevin Acee is coming up in 20 minutes. This text is pretty beautiful. The 858 says, dude, talking to Sammy, you are 23 years old. You can't drive to 4S Ranch and get your own damn Chipotle.
First off,
that is a good point. Like, I don't think I ordered DoorDash until I was like 28, 29.
By the way,
dog, and I feel bad leaving the dog.
858, because this is clearly a North County brother of mine.
Sure.
That Chipotle, hard workers, if you go before 5, they don't change out the new meat. So you get if you go at 4:49, really stale.
I do like the 4S Ranch Target is very, very nice.
I worked there for 3 days and I quit.
At the Target?
Yeah, including my orientation. I was in liquor.
You know what? You kind of seem like a guy who would quit a Target job after 3 days.
Here's what happened. I was stocking liquor.
I can't wear my Ice Cube t-shirt? What are you talking about? It has to be red.
First off, I was getting up at 6 a.m. I was like, this is awful. And then I was stocking liquor. Then they came to me and said,
waking up at 6 a.m. is awful.
Then they came to me and said, we're going to move you to
life, Sammy. Nobody starts work at 11 o'clock like you do. Nobody on the planet.
They said, we're going to move you to cereal. I said, I don't have a lot of interest in stacking cereal boxes. So I'm going to respectfully decline the job. And they were not too thrilled with me. That Target in Forest Ranch is not a big fan of Sammy.
Getting up at 6 a.m. being a deal breaker is one of the craziest things.
No, I get up, but I get up at 6 or 7. I just go to the gym.
Oh yeah.
I don't want to go to work.
Get my pump in so I could run around the neighborhood and look for my Chipotle that I got delivered. All right, it's San Diego Sports 760. Let's get to the big three here of hour number 2. Those Parker McCollum tickets, I can hear them coming. They're very, very soon. So stay tuned. Sammy, smash.
Your lunch break is here. Ready to go back to the office and knock the socks off your friends? I mean, coworkers? It's time for the top stories of the day. The Big Three.
615 texting in, same Fletch. I totally agree with your thought process on the post tip on DoorDash, but the problem is that puts you at a higher risk of them stealing those French fries or worse because they saw that there was no tip placed on the order. You know what, 615? I've thought of this. I know what you're saying. I do put something in the description that says cash tip, so that way.
So you lie to them?
No, you give them a cash tip when they get there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I put a cash tip.
Who has cash on them anymore? You carry around? You carry around your billfold?
I have cash on me right now. Productive weekend at Valley View Casino and Hotel.
Oh, okay. It was from the casino.
That was a winning weekend. That's what it was. All right, Sammy, where are we heading?
All right. So Mason Miller has pitched 32 and 2/3 scoreless innings being talked about for the Cy Young. When will his first earned run come? And is he going to get through this week against the Rockies and the Diamondbacks at high elevation with no earned runs?
Look, if there was a week for Mason Miller to call in sick, it is the next 5 games. I honestly, if I'm the Padres, I'm doing everything I can. This isn't going to happen. Like, Mason Miller is going to pitch over the next 5 games, but I would just want to fast forward through this because I want this scoreless streak to stay alive. Like, Mason Miller is knocking on the door of history. That's legitimately where he's at right now. As of now, he has had the start of the best closer season in Major League Baseball history so far. There is nothing that can screw that up like Coors Field. There is nothing that can screw that up like Mexico City. If you're thinking about the health of the Padres, obviously Mason Miller needs to pitch. If you're thinking about going after records, maybe take a couple of games off here because this is scary time. This is like if Mason Miller gets a walk, all of a sudden you're in danger zone.
It is fun, despite the Rockies typically being a terrible product year in and year out.
Sure.
It is fun watching games at Coors Field because
they're not terrible at Coors Field. Coors Field is a 3-point shot. It's the great equalizer.
You kind of throw the talent disparity out because of so much that. Hopefully he gets through it. I think he'll get through the Rockies. I think the Diamondbacks have sneaky been very good this year. And in Mexico City, that ball can really fly even more than against Denver or against Colorado. So I hopefully he gets through the week. I mean, depending on how many times they use him. But if he's getting used like 3 to 4 times, I don't know.
The science in Mexico City is where things really come to a head because you remember the last time the Padres were there, I remember there was a big article. I can't remember who wrote it. I don't think it was Acee. It might have been Jesse Rogers, one of the big national guys for ESPN, wrote an article about the humidor that the baseballs were stored in Mexico City wasn't working. So the baseballs, which at the time were already kind of juiced, were double juiced for that series that the Padres were in Mexico City. So the hope is that all those problems have been figured out by the time the Padres get there. But yeah, Mason Miller, it's one hanging slider away, which he hasn't hung many this year, from a little pop-up turning into a bad notch on the ERA for him. What's next?
All right. The Stanley Cup playoffs have been very fun.
Sure.
The last time Canada won the cup was in the early 90s. I believe it was the Montreal Canadiens in 1993.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Eat it, Canada.
And it's crazy because this is their number one sport.
Who won the U.S. Olympic gold medal?
U.S. of A.
Oh, the U.S. did.
Is this the year Canada finally breaks through? They got the Canadians. Edmonton won last night.
Wait, what about the women's side? Canada probably got that one, right?
Hell no.
No, USA did.
We own hockey, brother.
Oh, that's very cool. I actually didn't know that it's been that long. I thought Edmonton for sure would have gotten something.
Well, they went the last 2 years and lost to Florida both times.
Interesting. No, USA locks this S down. So if this is a yes or no question, don't ask me to back it up with evidence. Not the biggest hockey watcher, I'll be honest.
The last time the 1993 Montreal Canadiens beat the LA Kings in 1993, it's kind of crazy. It's been that long.
So how many Canadian hockey teams are left? Montreal's in the field still?
Montreal, Edmonton, Ottawa's in the field. Are we forgetting anybody? Because Toronto's not, Vancouver's not.
No, so games tonight. Montreal's playing Tampa. Boston's playing Buffalo. Is that Utah playing against Vegas?
Yeah, Edmonton feels like the best shot. The Canadians are a pretty good team. They took it to the Lightning the other day. Made a player score a hat trick, all on the power play. I do feel like Colorado, this might be their year. I mean, they are a fantastic team from top to bottom. Edmonton is funny because we just kind of talk about the same thing with them. They have all the talent in the world with Draisaitl and McDavid, two of the best players. Goaltending is still usually a problem. And, I mean, they literally are the Buffalo Bills of the NHL. They win a lot of games. I mean, they actually get to a championship, so I guess that's maybe too far. But
can't go a week without at least one sentence of Bills hate coming out of Sammy Long's mouth.
No, it's just stating a fact. But it is kind of crazy.
Probably drive and get their own Chipotle, Sammy.
In 1993, like that's pretty wild. That was the last time they won a Stanley Cup with how many teams are in Canada.
That is great. Like if you were to ask a random person anywhere, name the first 7 words to come out of your mouth when it comes to Canada, hockey would be part of those first 7 words.
Right. It's their NFL.
Like Drake, Justin Bieber, hockey,
Ryan Gosling,
Poutine, Mounties,
Reynolds,
Tim Hortons. Like you want to get far before you got to hockey.
Gosling from Canada?
I believe so, yes.
And Reynolds.
Ryan Reynolds for sure. Seth Rogen for sure.
Seth Rogen?
Justin Bieber, Drake. There's lady actors I'm thinking.
Oh, what's that comedian? Mike Myers.
Mike Myers?
Mike Myers from Canada.
Interesting. Hey, this guy's from the US of A. His name is Parker McCollum. He's going to be playing at Viejas Arena coming up on June 18th. If you would like to go to the show, now is the time to call. If you just want to buy tickets the old-fashioned way, you can go to Ticketmaster.com. Parker McCollum is excellent live. I've seen him a few times. 877-767-4760 is the phone number to call. Caller number
8.
Call number 8. You're going to see Parker McCollum at Viejas Arena at San Diego Sports 760. Kevin Acee in 10 minutes, but coming up next, Mason Miller. How worried are we about this week? Let's be very honest with each other. It's San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app. Kevin Acee coming up at 1:30. We'll talk some Padres baseball with Kev, who has some interesting thoughts on Fernando Tatis Jr. I don't know if I agree with Kev on this one, but we'll get into it in a little bit here on San Diego Sports 760. Kevin Acee is our Padres insider, joins us every Tuesday at 1:30. Hey, if it's your first time ever listening to this show, my name is Ben Fletcher. That is Sammy Long. We call this little 2-hour window here The Zone with Fletch and Sammy. We love doing this show. If you like listening to it, if you're not sure about listening to it, do us a favor. Add us to your presets on the free iHeartRadio app. Just search San Diego Sports 760, hit that little plus icon, and we will be with you forever. And that helps us out with the bosses. Makes us
they get very that's their big thing.
Our big thing too, because we want them to like us and we want you to like us, and we try really hard on this show. So if you want to support the show, best way to do it as of right now is to hit that little plus icon on the free iHeartRadio app. All right. Couple of things. We got news out of San Diego State. A couple of signings have become official. Bear Cherry, officially official, is a San Diego State Aztec.
That is such a tight nickname.
Dude, 6'11", 250. This is exactly what the Aztecs needed for a lot of last season. And I get he was with Sac State last year. Obviously, the competition level is going to be greatly improved here. But with San Diego State, they needed 6'11" and 250. That, like, no matter what, that translates.
Magoon Guath, this is not taking a shot at him. He's going to be a very good player and could potentially go play in the NBA.
Wildly talented, but skinny.
He's skinny. He wasn't a physical big. He was a finesse scoring big. So the Aztecs kind of had this constant back and forth last year where it's you play Magoon because he's the most talented big you have, but he was never really known for being a great rebounder. But then you have your Miles Heidi's, your guys like that, who maybe are a little bit more limited offensively, but are more traditional big. And when you're playing so many guards like they did with BJ Davis and Reese Dixon Waters and Miles Bird, it was just kind of this fine line they had to walk all season. So the front court definitely feels like the number one thing looking forward to this season for improvement.
Yeah, Bear Cherry is a great ad for the Aztecs. Again, 6'11", 250. You just can't teach that. And then Nick Anderson also became official today. So he's the transfer from Rice. He averaged 15 points a game last season. Both these guys have tons of playing experience at the college basketball level. You're starting to kind of see it come into form, right? With Latrell Davis, who spent last year as a redshirt, we know he's a killer on the court offensively. With LZ Harrington and Tay Simmons both coming back, you're adding all this together, and San Diego State has at least the framework right now for a really, really good team once again next year in their first year in the Pac-12. All right, Mason Miller, are we concerned about this weekend? I certainly am. Like, when you have something that's this close to history, like Mason Miller has not given up a run so far this season.
Unbelievable.
It's really scary and daunting to look down Colorado and look down Mexico City, understanding these are just hotbeds for runs. You just got to get the ball elevated. Really, literally, as a batter, you just got to hit pop-ups, and there's a chance they're going to go out as a home run. So this is a little bit of a scary process here. Well, so Sammy, I'll ask you, we'll ask the text line. Yes or no question. Does Mason Miller give up a run in the next 5 games?
Yeah.
You think so?
I think it's Arizona. I think he gets through. I think he gets to the Rockies, but Arizona.
Like if you were handicapping this, is this minus 200 that he gives up a run? Minus 100? Is it close to even money?
I don't know. I think it's close to even money. I mean, it's crazy that we're having this conversation because that's how exceptional Mason Miller has been. I think people forget, who maybe didn't watch Mason Miller's early career with the A's. This is a guy who had crazy talent, but had no control,
right,
whatsoever. And that's why they moved him.
The slider. Like, it is that if you want the key to Mason Miller's success this year, it's not that he throws 104 miles per hour. Believe me, that helps. That helps a lot. And that changes the eye level of every hitter, and every hitter has to be ready for that. It's the fact that his slider comes in at like 90 miles an hour and looks like the same pitch for half of the distance to the plate.
Right. So it's a complete guess for hitters. You have to completely luck and swing at the right time. I mean, he's unbelievable. It's crazy that we're even having this conversation about the Cy Young, and it is a valuable conversation because of how dominant he has been. I just hope it's fun to have the conversation over the next week. Like, will he give one up? I hope that Craig Stammen doesn't fall in love, because I think Craig Stammen has been very good as the Padres manager so far. But I hope, there's been a lot of 2-1 games. There's been a lot of, because the bats are not coming alive necessarily at times with Machado and Tatis.
Yeah, it'd be nice for the next 5 games if Padres just win by 4 in every game.
Right, like, it would be nice.
There's no need for Mason Miller.
It's fun to see Mason Miller every night. It would be nice for the long run of the team to not see Mason Miller every night. So you're kind of saving him. But
although it's a double-edged sword, because you feel like for him to get the Cy Young, which I do think it should be a goal for the Padres. Like, how cool would that be to have a closer get the Cy Young? I know it's not the end all be all.
It's cool, but it should come second to their own personal goals.
Sure, but he's going to need the strikeout numbers, is what I'm saying. So
Right.
you want him out there every chance you can get him. All right, San Diego Sports 760. Kevin Acee on the other side. Let's talk some Fernando Tatis Jr. with Kevin Acee. He has some really interesting thoughts on why Fernando is getting maybe a little too much flack from Padres fans. We'll hear it on the other side. It's San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app. Listen up. We got an awesome event coming back to San Diego in Lakeside over the next 4 days. Thursday through Sunday, it's the Lakeside Rodeo, the 62nd annual Lakeside Rodeo. It's going down at the Lakeside Rodeo grounds. If you've never been to a rodeo before, I'm telling you, this one's awesome. And it's the premier rodeo in Southern California. It's fun. It's affordable. It's built for families. Tons of activations for the kids to take advantage of. Cheap. Concessions all over the place. I know I've worked the concession stand the last few years at the Lakeside Rodeo, but this is awesome. So you got to get on out there. It's the 62nd annual Lakeside Rodeo. It's built for families. It supports the El Capitan Stadium Association, which is a nonprofit that gives back to local youth out in Lakeside. Make a plan, bring the crew, bring your friends, bring the family, head on out to the Lakeside Rodeo. You can buy tickets now at lakesiderodeo.com. That is lakesiderodeo.com. I will be out there. I'm trying to get Sammy out there. You got to get out there too. So if you want 4 full days of bull riding, steer wrestling, rodeo queens, and kids stick horse races, as well as a bunch of other stuff, you got to get on out to the Lakeside Rodeo. I will see you out there, lakesiderodeo.com to buy tickets now.
The sport is sponsored by Anderson Plumbing, Heating, and Air. Padres 3-game set against the Rockies starts tonight at 5:40. Randy Vasquez will be on the bump for the Pods, and the Lakers. Game 2 tonight, taking on the Houston Rockets. Houston, again, 5.5-point road favorites. Kevin Durant is currently a game-time decision after missing game 1 with a right knee contusion. Hear that game right here on San Diego Sports 760. Pre-game coverage gets going at 7:15. Game is at 7:30. Choosing the right home service company isn't just about fixing what's broken. It's about trusting who's in your home. That's why homeowners count on Anderson for friendly, professional service that keeps everything running right. Visit AndersonPHA.com.
The Padres Report with Kevin Acee is brought to you by Hamul Casino Resort. Hey, players, this is all yours. Hamul Casino Resort, a player's place.
Kevin Acee of the Union Tribune is our Padres insider. Also happens to be one of our best friends in the whole wide world. Kevin, I got to be honest, man. We got to lock in today. We got to focus. We got a lot to get to, not a lot of time to do it. So I know you want to talk about the 2-foot-long hot dog that they sell at Coors Field in Colorado, but we don't have time to talk about the 2-foot-long hot dog known as Glazilla. Is that okay with you?
That's fine. That's fine. You got to remember what show you're on. I know you do a lot, but you got to remember what show you're on. This is a sports show, Fletch.
All right. Well, Big Red Stadium Fletch is tomorrow morning, and we have invited you on that show as well. I would like to get you over there, but we'll see if that happens. But for this show, Kevin, we haven't talked to you since, I don't know, the Padres reportedly got sold to their new owner. I mean, this is kind of craziness that happened last Friday. I think a lot of Padre fans subscribe to the Wall Street Journal. But Jose E. Feliciano and his wife, Kwanzaa Jones, what do you know about this situation? What are next steps? What do we know, Padres beat reporter Kevin Acee?
Well, don't know a whole lot, and no one does. They think they might, but like we got to learn a lot more about Jose Feliciano, who, yes, he and his company are partners and own a fair amount of Chelsea in the Premier League, but I don't know how involved he is. So let's all like pump the brakes a little bit. And also, like, there's optimism by people that know, people in the organization, that they are going to have more freedom with their payroll, but we don't know that for sure. We don't know what that means, but I do want to say I think this is a good thing. Somebody with more money, that's a good thing. Now, we'll see. We'll see if the vision is close to what Peter Seidler's was, and how much of that money they're willing to spend. Also, I'm fairly certain that they didn't buy all of the team. And so obviously we know that there is a group. There are some local owners. I think some of the current owners stayed on. So it was at a valuation of $3.9 billion. I mean, Jose Feliciano, we don't know exactly. Forbes says that his net worth is $3.9 billion. So we know that he didn't just buy the team outright because, he couldn't do that. There's a lot still to learn, but I think that there's reason to be excited.
Have you heard anything about how close the other bids were? Like, did he completely outbid everyone, or was this like really down to John Seidler making a decision?
I think he completely outbid everybody, but, and John Seidler had obviously other people's input, and the, people that were making these decisions owed to other people to get, the best deal. Now, we've talked before, I think, and I hope you guys have, that like John Seidler's legacy will be tied up because there isn't a whole much else there. And I've been very complimentary of what John Seidler's done to step in for his family, but there's not like a whole lot there in this year that he's been the control person. And one of those things will be, who did he sell it to? So I don't know. For now, I'll trust that he sold it to the right guy.
That is the hope, and we'll see. I think I don't know what the runway looks like. I would say probably 2 or 3 years before we know the answer to that question, but that is everything. And it's not just John's legacy. It's also Peter's legacy, which John kind of became in charge of when he took over the role. All right, Kev, on the field, Padres obviously going to elevation. And you're going to elevation. Hopefully you don't deal with elevation sickness. But over the next 5 games, they're playing at like an average of 7,000 feet. This is insanity. It's craziness. Sammy and I just had the conversation, but if you were to put an over-under on it, how many more games does Mason Miller's scoreless inning streak continue?
The way it looks now, forever, infinity. But we know that's just not the case. Someone's going to run into 100-mile-an-hour fastball that isn't placed well or that is placed well. Or someone's going, he's going to throw a slider that doesn't do what his incredible slider usually does. I don't know. I don't think velocity should affect him, altitude should affect him too much. But I really wouldn't even know how to answer that because it could be tonight, it could be 10 games from now. What I want to say is what's amazing is how dominant he looks makes you think this could go forever.
I'm curious if you noticed anything different in the clubhouse with the Dodgers sustaining a lot of injuries recently. Edwin Diaz out for 3 months. Mookie Betts has been hurt. They've dealt with a rash of injuries up there. Blake Snell. Do they smell like a little blood in the water? Because it really feels like heading into the season, it just felt like the division was foregone. Maybe it's a little bit more open now.
The division still is foregone until the Dodgers prove. It's kind of like this. Believe in Manny Machado until he shows you at the end of the season that he's not going to have his 25 to 30 home runs and is around 800 OPS. Believe in the Dodgers winning the division, being the best team over 162 until they don't. Think about last year. Have we forgotten last year, Sam? The Dodgers were decimated. Any other team in the league would have folded on the number of injuries the Dodgers had. Do you remember what they did this offseason? Who they added, the relievers they added, the Dodgers are still the Dodgers, and the Dodgers know that they have all season. I'm not saying it's impossible for the Padres to win the West. The Padres have always believed they can win the West, and that's very important since they're the ones trying to do it. The Dodgers are injured. Boo freaking who? Or so what? The Dodgers are stacked. And I'm just laying out reality for you. I absolutely believe the Padres can win the division. They could, if things were to continue to go like this for the Dodgers and the Padres continue to play well. Now, there's a lot of questions about the Padres continuing to play well, but the Dodgers don't have near enough injuries for us to pay attention yet.
Kevin, I've driven a total of 25 minutes since the latest Padres Collective has come out. So I've listened to about 25 minutes of the latest Padres Collective. But I thought there were some interesting things. So I want to start with the Manny Machado thing. I thought you put it very funny. Manny usually can't wait to kind of give you the runaround for a couple minutes. But it does seem like Manny's actually kind of excited for this road trip to go play at Elevation, to go play in Mexico City. So I guess Manny's headspace is part one, but part two, I thought you said some really interesting things about Fernando Tatis Jr.'s bat and how you do feel like he's right there and we're maybe on the verge of seeing a hot streak.
Yeah, he's been it's incredible actually how locked in he stayed. Both because that's just hard to do. Other players get out of, and certainly Fernando Tatis Jr. has when you're chasing something, right? And he stayed, gosh, for the most part, I'd almost say, grading on a curve, A+ because grading on a curve is what we have to do because it's just impossible to be perfect in baseball. This guy's just done a great job. And I don't know if Coors Field plays to that. It's a tough place to go out to right center or to right field if you're a right-handed hitter. But he's certainly capable of yanking some balls 470 feet at Coors Field, and maybe he'll do it because he's still hitting the ball hard and he's not chasing, and it's been super impressive. And yes, Manny was uncharacteristically ready to just admit man, he cannot wait to play at altitude and play also at Coors Field where hits fall and, triples, not maybe for Manny, but doubles. And because it's just so big to sort of try to counter the effects of the thin air. So yes, they are looking for something. And Tatis is excited. Merrill, who hits 450 in 10 games here, he's excited. Everyone's excited to play a little altitude ball.
Matt Waldron struggled on Friday night. How concerned are the Padres with him, or is that just kind of a rough outing?
Yeah. They're concerned, but they were concerned before he, I don't want to put it make sure I'm not saying worried, but Matt Waldron is Matt Waldron. I spent a lot of time trying to defend Matt Waldron or even trying to make Matt Waldron believe that he is a decent pitcher in this league. But Matt's got to decide what he's going to do and have conviction in his pitches. And that's what the Padres are saying too. And he's a number 5 starter, or maybe a number 4 starter if he's at his best. And that's what they need him to be. Poor guy is going to make his second start at Coors Field. So maybe that's better than making it at Mexico City. But, it's rough. It's rough. But that's why I say, like, there's concerns about this team. I mean, I think they're playing really well. I do. I think that there's a lot of really good players on this team. I think they're a playoff team. But Matt Waldron is one of the faces of the big question about this team, and that would be the rotation.
Sometimes the nuck don't nuck. I do believe that was in the Bible, Kevin. But yeah, we were probably a little too low on the Padres for the first week of the season, and we're all collectively probably a little too high on the Padres right now. The truth is somewhere in the middle. We'll see what happens. Kev, can we expect a phone call 9:30 tomorrow? What are you thinking?
9:30 is 10:30 here.
Look, it's your debut on 101.5 KGB. That is a legacy station in San Diego.
Yes, it is, and that's why it's tempting. It's probably the only thing I would wake up that early for. You know how late I'm up working on the newsletter. I'm not going to make any promises because we're just too good of friends for me to make you a vow that I can't keep. But you'll get a text from me about 3 or 4 in the morning that tells you whether I'll be up.
How about let's do this? I'm going to call it 9:30 regardless, 9:30 our time. And then whether you answer or whether you don't, we won't have any expectations to it. No strings attached.
Do it.
Okay.
Do it. Call once, you son of a... If that phone call rings through on Do Not Disturb, I will kill you. And I mean that.
Well, if it's a one
so it will be on Do Not Disturb?
Oh, my phone will be on Do Not Disturb when I go to sleep tonight. So what happens is either you're a favorite, which you're not, or you call through multiple times on Do Not Disturb and it comes through because I guess the iPhone thinks it's an emergency or something. So if you call me multiple times tomorrow, we're going to have a problem, Fletch.
God, Kevin was such a peach when we used to have him on at 7:30 a.m. when we were doing the morning show over here. He loved it when we would call him. And then we'd be talking about, I don't know, all sorts of things. All right, Kev, I'll talk to you tomorrow. Sounds great.
All right, great. See ya.
Kev almost just got dumped. We all heard it.
Yeah, I didn't really know what to do there.
He stopped himself, but he almost got dumped. That would have been funny.
Petros has said that on this station, but Petros gets certain rules.
Yeah, it's like there was different sets of rules for Mike Costa to everyone else on what could and couldn't get dumped.
Right.
Like I dumped everything with Costa, like, even if it was borderline.
Petros Papadakis and Mike Costa get special rules.
Yeah, Costas go the opposite direction though. So it's a gray area for sure in the FCC, but gray area usually just means dump. And Kevin did not get dumped. He stopped himself. I'm proud. If you want to listen to our interview with Kevin Acee tomorrow morning, I promise you it'll be nothing like the interview you just heard.
There's no way he's answering.
Oh yeah, he will. You're underestimating how much Kevin Acee loves Travis Dale.
Really? That's his favorite over there?
That's absolutely 100% not even close. His favorite is Travis.
I remember one day when you were out last summer, I had Rich and Travis and we did the show.
It was the flesh zone that day, I believe.
It was very sensual.
Highly sexual.
And I've never heard Kevin Acee cackle and smile like that when he was talking to Travis Dale. I was like, what is going on?
He's a giggler. He's a giggler. Next time we go out to dinner with Kev, you got to come with because it's a different human being. All right, San Diego Sports 760. We will close this thing coming up next. Recap long shots if you missed it. And yeah, we're going to squeeze in some NFL draft talk right before we head home for the day. It's San Diego Sports 760. You're listening live on the iHeartRadio app. It's Fletch for the Valley View Casino and Hotel. Man, I was just there. The place is looking great. There's a brand new slot machine, the Wheel of Fortune cash on reels, which is a beautiful whole wall setup that they got going on at the Valley View Casino and Hotel. And then coming up on this Friday, it's going to be packed because from 5 p.m. to 11 p.m., It is the 3Cs event. Cash, and more cash. This month's winner can go home with $35,000 in cash or risk it all and spin for the ultimate prize of $100,000 on their cash wheel. Plus an additional $30,000 in cash and free more play are going to be given away throughout the night to 70 lucky winners. You can simply earn entries all month long by playing slot or tables game, then activate your entries the day of the giveaway at the guest service kiosks located throughout the casino. You won't want to miss this exciting event, the 3Cs event, April 24th, this Friday. All Players Club members are eligible to win like $100,000. I don't know if you all heard that. $100,000 could be given away on Friday night. Signing up for the Players Club is always quick, easy, and free. And once you're in the Players Club, you're going to get over $200 in free offers to use at San Diego's favorite casino, like free more play, free slot play, free match play, $20 off at the Black and Blue Steakhouse. The list goes on and on and on. So don't miss out. Valley View Casino and Hotel, Friday, April 24th. It's the 3Cs event. Cash, more cash. And you can join the Ultimate Players Club to get over $200 in free offers today. To learn more, visit valleyviewcasino.com. All guests 21 and over are invited to enjoy the casino, hotel, and restaurants. SDFC back on the road tomorrow night. They got the Houston Dynamo. Our coverage with Adrian and Darren will begin at 5 o'clock right here on your home for SDFC, San Diego Sports 760. Was talking to Darren yesterday about SDFC, and he put me at ease a little bit. I don't know about you, Sammy, but it was a little worrisome there for a bit. The red cards, the losses, the draws. Feels like it's been a while since they've gotten back to their winning ways, but this was a very similar stretch they went through a year ago, and we'll see if they can get back on track with a big win over the Houston Dynamo.
Well, and I think it's easy for people to, I don't want to say overreact because they have been playing not great, so it's understandable to be concerned, but that season one was so stress-free. I mean, everything they did worked, and every adversity they faced, whether that was the loss of Milan Olowski, the drama with Chucky Lozano at the end of the year, all of it ended up working out. And this is the first one where we're still kind of in the process of, can they figure out why is the offense not there? Why are they getting so many red cards? But yeah, it's still early on in the season. There's a lot of time in that table to move up the ranks.
All right, couple things to do here before we get out of here. Thing number one, somehow this was a huge topic on today's show. May 15th is the date of Drake's new album release. So he dragged it along for 6 months, did this dumbass block of ice thing in Toronto. Gave the person who found the release date, by the way, $50,000.
That's how generous Drake is.
$50,000 to make your way through some ice is kind of crazy, but May 15th. So now he's dragging it out another month.
We will be doing a full album review on the show on May 16th.
You and Kat should just do a Drake podcast at some point.
I would love to do it.
Put it on our show's podcast page, but this is not for air. And then the other thing to do, 11.5 is the run total I'm seeing for Padres Rockies in game one. Now the first 5 innings run total is at 5.5. I'm kind of leaning towards that first 5 innings run total of 5.5, maybe taking the over on that. Like Randy Vasquez going for the pots. I'm thinking maybe some early runs get on the board.
Game. He didn't have a great last outing.
But take this into account. The Padres, their run scoring has not come against starting pitching so far this year. It's come against the bullpen so far this year. It's been a lot of late game runs.
It's hard because 11.5 is a huge number,
but it's also at Coors Field.
Now, the one thing I would say for you, the Dodgers really depleted their bullpen over the last couple of days.
Sure. So, is this an 8-7 ball game? I kind of like that.
Put your money where your mouth is.
I'm staying away. We'll bet that for game number 2 of this series. Once we see how Coors Field is playing, once we see if the Padres have any power. I think that's the smart, responsible thing to do, and that's what we're all about here. Smart and responsible
trading
decisions. We call that the SNR, the smart and responsible. All right. Thank you for being here today. Again, if it's your first time checking us out, please do go to the free iHeartRadio app. Tap that little plus icon when you're listening to San Diego Sports 760. That adds us to your presets. Text line, much love. Good stuff today. YouTube chat, same to you. Subscribe on YouTube to @San Diego Sports 760. Sammy's coming up next. What do we got planned for today, Sammy?
We got everything. We were getting into the Padres, Craig Counsell's comments.
Sure.
We got the little Lakers preview, NFL draft, and my guy Eric Sklar's coming on talking to the Lakers at 2:30.
Right on. That's going along with Sammy. Followed by that is Schaefer and Sliwa, our brand new afternoon drive show. Keep it tuned here on San Diego Sports 760. I'll see you tomorrow.
The sport is sponsored by Mothers Against Drunk Driving. The Padres and Rockies are getting set to start their series tonight in Denver. It's going to be Randy Vasquez going for the Padres and Jimmy Herget going again for the Colorado Rockies. First pitch is set for 5:40. In NFL news, Mike Tomlin is joining NBC. The former Steelers head coach is joining NBC's Sunday night pregame show Football Night in America as a studio analyst. In NBA news, we have Celtics and 76ers coming up at 4:00, Blazers Spurs at 5, and we got Lakers Rockets game 2 coming up. We got pregame at 7:15 right here on San Diego Sports 760, and the tip will be a little after 7:30. For victims of drunk and drugged driving, your grief is unique, but you're not alone. You'll always have a place at MAD. Call the 24-hour victim helpline at 877-MAD-HELP or visit mad.org.
Going long with Sammy.
That's going to be hot.
In depth on the story of the day. Plus, it's warm in the hot seat. Now, it's Sammy Long.
Got a lot going on today. We got NBA playoffs, Lakers game 2 tonight. You're in that game. Brent just said it, I believe, in the update right here on San Diego Sports 760. Kevin Durant is a game time decision. We also just got some news on Austin Reeves and Luka Doncic. So per Shams Charania, Luka Doncic out for the remainder of this series, still remaining out indefinitely per his terms. And then Austin Reeves has a shot, though, to return at the end of this series. So we're going to get to this in a few minutes. But, I mean, you talk about off the jump how important tonight is, because the longer that the Lakers can extend this series keeps giving the Lakers opportunities to take it to Houston. And you feel like Houston maybe took that game, not that Kevin Durant wasn't injured, but kind of wanted to test the waters out of, hey, if we don't play Kevin Durant in game 1, maybe you're able to steal that. Maybe heading into the series, because the Lakers didn't have Luka, because the Lakers didn't have Doncic or Luka and Reeves, you still would be able to take that game with Amen Thompson and Alperen Şengün, and it didn't work out that way for Houston. So now it puts even more pressure on Kevin Durant tonight to come back and get a win, considering Reeves could be returning. We're going to get to that coming up next here in a few minutes. My guy Eric Sklar from Hoops Talk with Alan Sliwa, obviously Afternoon Drive host, on that channel with me. We'll be talking a little bit Lakers at 2:30. Going to get to some NFL drafts, some pressing stories. 2 days out, we got a lot of rumors flying around, a lot of movement in the top 10. And considering there are 6 teams with multiple first-round picks, there's a lot to get to there. Schaefer and Sliwa coming up at 2:45. But I thought we'd start with something in the baseball world. Now, Craig Counsell, manager for the Cubs, had some interesting comments about Shohei Ohtani. So he was talking about the fact that the rule that was made in 2020 that a player could pitch in a game and get taken out of the game and still be allowed to bat. Now, obviously, this rule was completely made for Shohei Ohtani because he's an amazing two-way player, and the Major League Baseball didn't really want the Angels at the time to be having to kind of make the dilemma of, do you play him? Do you pitch him? Because if you're going up against a good team, but you have to pull him in the 5th or 6th inning, you're not going to have Shohei Ohtani for the rest of the game. So they changed the rule, allow him to be able to play both ways. And so the Dodgers are able to carry 14 basically pitchers, because Ohtani counts as one in 12 position players, where normally for every team around the league, it's 13 and 13 pitchers to 13 hitters. Craig Counsell had this to say. He said, I've never understood it. It's an offensive rule, essentially. An offensive rule. It is a rule to help offense more than anything. If you ask me, and there's one team that's allowed to carry basically one of both, talking about the Dodgers, and he gets special consideration, which is probably the most bizarre rule for one team. So pretty spicy comments from Craig Counsell, taking a shot at the Dodgers for having this rule. Dave Roberts fired back and said, the thing is, he certainly benefits because we have that player. We're more than willing for other teams to go out and find a player who can do both. Dave Roberts said he's an exception because he's an exceptional player. It is what it is. I got to say, and this might not be super popular down here in San Diego, I completely agree with Dave Roberts. Like 1,000,000%. I would love your guys' thoughts on this. Text 70470. Start your message with team. Do you agree with Craig Counsell's sentiment? I understand people don't like the Dodgers, and the Dodgers have won the last 2 World Series, so it's understandable. They spend a lot of money. They've had a lot of success recently. So people, outside of people being a Dodger fan, there's not too many people that are like, yeah, I'm cool with the Dodgers win another World Series. And Shohei Ohtani is a major reason why they've won World Series, because they won in 2020 on the shortened season. But really, before that and after that, against the Braves, against the Padres, against the Diamondbacks, we've seen a lot of big playoff failures from the Dodgers over the years. They get Shohei Ohtani. They win back-to-back World Series, looking to go for a three-peat. In terms of him being able to play both ways and cannot count against the roster spots, I don't have a problem with it. I mean, Dave Roberts is right. If Shohei Ohtani played for their team, for the Cubs, they wouldn't have a problem with this. And by the way, the rule happened in 2020. So the rule changed when he was still an Angel. This was 4 years before he ended up, actually 3 to 4 years before he ended up joining the Los Angeles Dodgers. And no one had a complaint against this when he was with the Angels. No one cared when he was an Angel. And although he was an electric player to watch along with Mike Trout, the Angels didn't win anything. They weren't in the playoff conversation. They barely made it. They made it one time with him and Mike Trout. So I understand that people are frustrated at this, but the Dodgers also have a little bit of a disadvantage. They only carry 12 positional players. That's why the Dodgers have actually had some outfield depth concerns over the last couple of years. It may not seem like it if you're not watching the day-to-days of the Dodgers, but the fact that the Dodgers have one less position player has been a problem for them. And Shohei Ohtani is such, I mean, if this was the NFL where nothing's bigger than the shield, not Patrick Mahomes, not Josh Allen, not Lamar Jackson, not any big time player, Joe Burrow in the league, because the NFL is so big that they don't have to make rules for a player. Well, Major League Baseball's ratings were going down and down and down, and Shohei Ohtani comes along and he's the biggest thing to happen in this game, maybe ever. And you see the ratings, the Dodgers made back his entire contract, $700 million in 1 year because of the revenue that he brings in from a marketing standpoint, that the sales, you know, the home sales, the home ticket sales, the away ticket sales, the jerseys, the merchandise, everything. So I get people being frustrated with the Dodgers and not wanting to see the Dodgers succeed. That's one thing. But to go at this rule, I think just like Steph Curry changed the game of basketball. I mean, like when I was growing up, I'm only 23, but when I was growing up playing basketball, it was before Steph Curry, at least when I was kind of young, and everyone was trying to work on, you know, their dribble drive being Kobe. Everyone wanted to be Kobe or Kyrie. People wanted to be like, you wanted to have a mid-range game that was second to none. And then that changed. I mean, go to a rec league now. I mean, how many people are just jacking up threes from the logo left and right because Steph Curry changed the way we looked at basketball. Well, Shohei Ohtani is doing the same thing for baseball. Shohei Ohtani is hopefully inspiring a generation of two-way players in the future. And I mean, if the Cubs had one of these guys, if any other team had one of these guys, we wouldn't be hearing about this. It's just Shohei Ohtani is the one player that is a two-way player and does it at a high level. So all of a sudden it's easy to target practice at the Dodgers and rip the Dodgers and try to say that the MLB is giving them special rules. Yes. Does Major League Baseball want Shohei Ohtani in the game as much as possible? Absolutely. Because he brings ratings that no one else brings. But I hope the fact that guys don't have to pick. I mean, up until Shohei Ohtani, everyone had to pick always. It was usually in high school, the best, the best pitcher might be the best hitter because they were just the best player on the team, but they had to pick one or the other. You had to pick into going to pitching or pick into being a hitter. And I think it's cool now that with Shohei Ohtani, we might see generations of players who don't have to pick. And I hope that rule doesn't apply to them because of the fact that they're able to stay in the game after if Shohei Ohtani gets pulled from the mound, he can stay in the game. Now you're going to see less players coming up the ranks having to pick a position and might just see more well-rounded baseball players and hopefully get Shohei Ohtani 2.0, who maybe is on a different team besides the Dodgers. So I feel like this is a little bit of crying over spilled milk. Craig Counsell, like very good manager. The Cubs have been hit with a rash of injuries so far this year. So I get the frustration, but I don't know. It feels a little petty to me. And I don't think that the MLB is rigging it for the Dodgers just with the rule. Again, the rule change happened in 2020 when he was a Los Angeles Angel and no one really cared when he was an Angel. They care now that he's a Dodger and he's winning. All right, Padres taking on the Rockies tonight, 3-game set, then going to Mexico City, take on the Diamondbacks. It's funny. So the Dodgers just got off a series against the Rockies, actually split 2-2. The Rockies played pretty well against the Dodgers. Dalton Rushing is the backup catcher for the Dodgers and is getting a lot of time because Freddie Freeman's on paternity leave, playing first base, and he's been unbelievable. I believe he has like 7 home runs and 27 at bats. Called out the Rockies for, quote, fishy swings, basically insinuating that the amount of first pitches that the Rockies were jumping on over the weekend was suspicious to him because he said he felt like that they were basically tipping pitches, knew what was going on. Dave Roberts shot this down. Actually, Dave Roberts said, no, I actually saw a lot of bad breaking balls from our pitching staff, mainly Will Klein, but will be kind of a fun narrative to watch over the next few days. There's feels like a lot riding on this series. That's kind of a sub story. Like if maybe the Padres find this, if other teams, now the Dodgers have called it out, I think people kind of take what Dalton Rushing and the Dodgers say with a grain of salt because they're the Dodgers and complaining about the Rockies, one of the worst teams in baseball, feels a little beneath them. But if we see this from other teams, it'll be interesting to see if the MLB kind of investigates. And then I'm curious from an offensive standpoint, Machado and Tatis. This really feels like a big week for them personally because we've gotten to make a lot of excuses for them over the first 3 weeks of the season because the Padres have been winning games. And again, kind of got into this yesterday. It's a credit to the staff around the Padres that, Jackson Merrill, Ramon Laureano has been fantastic. Luis Campusano. We've seen the fringe parts of this team. The bullpen we knew would be dominant. And to give the starting pitching a little bit of love, they haven't been as bad, I think, as people thought. And I think if you would have told people, hey, Joe Musgrove would not have pitched by this point and Nick Pivetta would be hurt, I mean, I would have had massive concerns. I certainly would not think that the Padres would be in this spot this late or this a month into the season with that many injuries. But the thing that's gotten lost in that is that Tatis and Machado have been pretty bad, frankly. Kevin Acee was on our show an hour ago, was talking about how the underlying metrics with Tatis and he's not worried about him because he thinks that he's really going to pop. And hopefully that's the case. And Tatis gives you reason to think that because over the years, he has been such a dominant player. But this feels like a big week because with the ball flying out in Colorado, with the ball going to be really flying out against a very talented Diamondback team, but in Mexico City where the elevation's even higher, this feels like a week where if Tatis and Machado are not coming through, we're going to start to have real concerns because the rest of this team's doing their part. Like the team that AJ Preller has assembled on the field is doing their part. And that's why AJ Preller in my book deserves so much praise. But at what point do Machado and Tatis, I don't want to hear about personally, and text me, text 70470, start your message with team. Maybe you're more patient on him than I am. I don't want to hear about, oh, he hits the ball hard. The metrics are good. Oh, well, Manny does this every year. Manny gets in slumps. Well, I mean, it's time to pick it up. It's a month into the season now. There's really no more excuses. This feels like a big week for them with the ball flying out of the yard. Attacks Rockies bullpen after facing the Dodgers. The Padres have a rest advantage considering they didn't play yesterday. The Rockies did at night too. So feels like a really big week for the Pods. The Dodgers got the Giants, which will be a fun series, even though the Giants have been scuffling recently. Anytime the Dodgers are playing the Giants, feels like that they always kind of split that series. So real opportunity here for the Padres over the next week to gain a little ground on that division. All right, coming up next, NFL draft a couple days away. We got a lot going on, a lot of rumors flying around left and right. Todd McShay, big reports coming out from him. Kyler Murray, Justin Jefferson just spoke on him as the new Vikings quarterback. What does that mean, A, for them going forward? And what does that mean for the quarterbacks in the NFL draft with draft needy teams? It's coming up next on Going Long on San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app. SCFC is back on the road tomorrow night when they take on the Houston Dynamo. Our coverage with Adrian and Darren begins at 5 p.m. on your home for STFC, San Diego Sports 760. Interesting crossroads for STFC. I mean, they talked to Darren Smith yesterday on Fletch and I's show, and they've kind of the first adversity they faced, honestly, since they debuted as a franchise. I mean, last year it felt like every hurdle that they faced, whether that was Milan Alaski leaving midway through, the drama with Chucky Lozano, it just felt like they kind of came out of nowhere. And this is the first year they start really well and then have kind of faded down here recently. Be interesting to see what happens with them. But again, that game tomorrow, so make sure to tune in. All right, NFL draft right here. We have a countdown. We have the timer. Brent and I are watching the timer right now. 50 hours, 38 minutes, and 42 seconds till the Las Vegas Raiders are on the clock. Brent, what did you just say to me at the break?
Oh, I think Mendoza is going to be a flop.
Okay. Do you think that because you just don't think he's very good and that he's overrated because of the lack of talent in this draft from the quarterback spot, or you think he's going to be terrible, just bad?
A little bit of both. I think that he's the best quarterback in the draft by default, but I think it's a weak quarterback class this year. And for me, my red flags are, if he was that great, he would have played more and he wouldn't have had to transfer as much as
from Cal.
Yeah.
Right. So it's hard when we evaluate Mendoza, because obviously Mendoza is supposed to be the number 1 overall pick to the Las Vegas Raiders. When we look at Fernando Mendoza, the Raiders aren't trading the pick and never were, because they are so starved for a competent quarterback. I mean, a competent franchise quarterback that they have not had in a long time. The last guy they had that could have fallen under that, we all thought Derek Carr was going to be that guy. He had the bad injury and was never really quite the same in regards to that. But Mendoza, it is an interesting conversation because he's checked every box. He's checked every box in that he's a Heisman winner. He took the literal losing his franchise or losing his school in college football history in Indiana and won a natty over Miami in Miami. But I do see your point of that. If he was coming out next year with Arch Manning, Lenoris Sellers, Dante Moore, Jaden Maava, I mean, all the talented quarterbacks coming out next year, he would not be number 1 overall pick because people would take Arch Manning because of the traits. There was an argument to Dante Moore, even though he did beat Dante Moore head to head. Like it's Mendoza. I feel like you say he's total flop, or you think he's gonna be total flop. I don't know that. Like, I think he will have a solid floor. I think he will have a solid floor in the NFL. We saw what he was in college. He's done a lot there. But yeah, to your point, I don't know that Mendoza has the ceiling that a lot of quarterbacks we see go number 1 overall typically have.
The thing is, if he was taken 9th or 10th, he would be fine. But I don't think, in a way, if you want like an NBA equivalent, it would almost be like Andrew Bogut the year he went number 1 to the Bucks.
Right, solid player, but far from being, a number 1 overall pick and a franchise guy. But he got labeled that for his whole career because he was the number 1 overall pick. To where if he would have been taken 5th or 6th, his stats would have been perfectly fine. But they go, yeah, that's good. But for being the number 1 overall pick, that's fair. And the Raiders are an interesting spot because, and by the way, Chino Iglesias will be joining me on Thursday. Massive Raider fan, head of the NFL draft. So I'm curious to hear his thoughts. Now, I have been on record. Fletcher and I have argued about this a lot. I am a start a quarterback right away. And I know it's counterintuitive because my favorite team, the Kansas City Chiefs, rested Mahomes or sat Mahomes the entire first year until the last game of the regular season. But typically, when you're quarterback that you're unsure about, it's like, let them play, see if they have the stuff. And if you're picking in a position the next year where you're going to be able to take a franchise quarterback, you know what you have, versus sitting them for a year. You're picking in that same spot with the opportunity to take a big time quarterback and you don't know what you have. And then let's just say your quarterback's good. Then by the time that they're ready to, quote, be in the Super Bowl window, you're paying them big money. So you don't get to take advantage of the rookie contract. I will say, is in a little bit of a unique situation. Like when I look at the Browns and Shedeur Sanders, there is no reason why Shedeur Sanders should not be starting this year. And I know Jimmy Haslam, the owner for the Browns, has talked about, well, we got Deshaun and we'll see what happens at the draft. I mean, why would you start Deshaun Watson? You know what Deshaun Watson is at this point in his career. He was potentially an elite level quarterback, messed up his career, and has not been the same. Shedeur Sanders, even though he wasn't great, showed some flashes. Let him start for you. If he ends up being a good player, then you look like the GM in the team of the decade, getting him in the 5th round. If he sucks, you're picking Arch Manning next year. In regards to Fernando Mendoza, I see it a little bit where you're sitting him because the receiver room is so barren. I mean, Jack Besh, I mean, they traded away a big time receiver to Jacksonville in the middle of the season last year. They do have Brock Bowers. You do have Ashton Jency. You have a good pass rush with Max Crosby. I love what the Raiders did acquiring Quay Walker and Nakobe Dean at the linebacker spot in the offseason because they really needed more efficient tacklers. But you do get concerned, like with Mendoza, if you play him immediately in a division, by the way, with the Chiefs, Chargers, and Broncos. All those teams have playoff hopes, all 3 of them. Then are we going to see what happened with Brent, your Bears, in the Carolina Panthers? The Carolina Panthers traded with the Bears for the number 1 overall pick. All of a sudden, they trade DJ Moore alongside Chicago. Bryce Young has literally no one to throw the ball to. And I know he does have Brock Bowers. It's a little bit different, but there's no one to throw the ball to. And then all of a sudden, Bryce Young is labeled a bust. Kind of comes out of it the last year or two, but there's still question marks there because the cupboard is bare. I would be more apt to see him sit for a little while in the Mendoza case, but typically I am for playing your QB and seeing what you got. All right, coming up next, Eric Sklar, my guy from Hoops Talk with Alan Sleeble, contributor on there. Him and I do a lot of preview videos together, jumping on ahead of the Laker game tonight, kind of covering also all NBA playoffs. He's coming up next on Going Long on San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app.
This report is sponsored by Anderson Plumbing, Heating, and Air. The Padres and Rockies are getting set to start their series tonight in Denver. It's going to be Randy Vasquez going for the Padres and Jimmy Herget going for the Rockies. First pitch is set for 5:40. In NFL news, Mike Tomlin's joining NBC. The former Steelers head coach is joining the Sunday night pregame show Football Night in America as a studio analyst. And tonight we got some more game twos of the first round of the NBA playoffs at 4:00. We got Celtics 76ers. We got Blazers Spurs at 5. And of course, we got game 2 of Lakers Rockets, which you can hear right here on San Diego Sports 760. Pregame coverage will begin at 7:15 and the tip will be a little after 7:30. Choosing the right home service company isn't just about fixing what's broken. It's about trusting who's in your home. That's why homeowners count on Anderson for friendly professional service that keeps everything running right. Visit AndersonPHA.com.
Ain't nothing wrong with a little heat. Getting warm around here.
Light the fires, Big Daddy.
Who's next in the hot seat?
Eric Sklar, who works with me, and Alan Sleewell on Hoops Talk, doing a killer job. We had a preview video up last night about this game 2 with the Lakers and the Rockets. Eric, what's up, man? How you doing?
Sammy, doing good, man. How are you?
Doing good. All right, so how you feeling about tonight? Because it's funny how your Lakers still game 1. I think there's this kind of narrative that, okay, well, the Lakers shot about 61% from the field. The Rockets, a couple of their stars shot below 40%. The Lakers that's not a sustainable way to win. What would you say to people who kind of think that?
I mean, I definitely think that the Rockets aren't going to shoot under 40% from the field again tonight. I think this game will be the Rockets' best shot. I mean, they're definitely going to come out guns blazing to try and steal this game 2 from the Lakers in LA to try and retake home court or to take home court advantage from the Lakers as the 5 seed going back to Houston for 2 more games. But it's really all about if Kevin Durant plays or not. And I'm just not really sure if he's going to play tonight, because I was texting Slee earlier. I saw a promotional tweet from the Rockets organization. And I mean, this really is speculative, and it could be something, it could be nothing, but they didn't have Kevin Durant in the picture of the players they were promoting for tonight's game. It was guys like Alperen Sengun, Jabari Smith, Amen Thompson. And so if they're not promoting KD for game 2 tonight, that doesn't give me confidence he's going to play if I'm a Rockets fan.
Yeah, our 858, our text line actually had that as well. 2 hours ago, KD officially left off team poster. That is interesting. That's I mean, they're pretty on it in getting in the weeds like that. It does feel like in terms of Kevin Durant, it's odd what we've been hearing, because Friday, we don't know that he got injured all last week until Friday the injury report comes out. Then it's like, this is precautionary. He's questionable, but he's going to be fine. He ends up not playing on game 1. Even if Kevin Durant is back tonight, like let's just say he plays, even though to your point, he very well might not play tonight. It doesn't solve to me the fact that the Rockets don't have a point guard, and whether Kevin Durant or Reed Shepherd is bringing the ball up the floor, not having Fred VanVleet, who got injured in the offseason, really feels like it's been detrimental to them. And even with Kevin Durant back, if you're the Rockets, how are you trying to kind of break the Lakers' press at the half court?
Yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting to see what the Rockets will try and do as far as who will be that primary ball handler, whether Kevin Durant plays or not, because that'll dictate so much for them. But if Kevin Durant does play, he's not the best at setting the table for himself. He really does better with someone setting himself up for the shot. And so not having a Fred VanVleet definitely is going to be a factor. But with the Rockets versus the Lakers, the Lakers have the blueprint on how to beat the Rockets without Kevin Durant and with Kevin Durant. That I really feel like that mini baseball series that the Lakers and Rockets had in March at the start of that 6-game road trip was so beneficial for the Lakers in terms of scouting for this series. And obviously the Lakers are at a deficit without Luka and Austin. And I definitely think that the Lakers being without Luka and Austin is much more of a deficit for them than the Rockets being without Kevin Durant. But it's neither team really has an excuse in terms of injuries at this point.
Eric Sklar from Hoops Talk with Alan Sliwa joining me right now. Go give him a follow at the Duke of Sports. Eric, I know we're up against it here. You got to run in a second, but Austin Reeves, per Shams Charania, attempting to return late in this series. Luka is still out indefinitely. It feels like a big series if Reeves is able to play. Maybe he's able to only play for a game or two if this thing gets extended. There's a lot made about should the Lakers pay Austin Reeves? Does a backcourt surrounded or but the foundation of Luka in Reeves, can that win you a bunch of games in the Western Conference? And considering how he didn't play very well last year against Minnesota, feels like there's a lot of pressure on him when and if he does come back. Where are you at with that kind of big picture? Are you kind of relying on this playoff series if he comes back to see whether you'd pay Reeves, or just would you or would you not already?
Well, if he comes back, I feel like it'll be hard to judge him based off of him coming back from injury, because he's not going to be at a full 100% when he comes back, if he comes back in the playoffs, because I think he's just going to try and get to the point where he's like, you know what, I feel okay enough, I can play, and he'll try and play. It is unfortunate that the Lakers aren't going to get that chance to evaluate Austin in the playoffs, because that's really what everybody was waiting to see, if he could bounce back from that lackluster performance in the playoffs the last couple of seasons, especially last year against Minnesota, where Jaden McDaniels and Anthony Edwards and Nickeil Alexander-Walker at the time really ate him up on defense. But I'm in the camp that you have to bring Austin Reeves back next season. Do I hope that he takes a hometown discount? Yes. Do I think it's realistic? Possibly. I am very weary, I think, if they give him the full max, but I think you ultimately have to give him the full max if that's what he's asking, because ultimately you can see if it works out next season with Luka and Austin. And if you see that it doesn't, I think there's 29 other teams that would gladly trade a couple of assets to get a guy like Austin Reeves on their team.
100% agree. Eric Sklar, go give him a follow at the Duke of Sports on X as well as on Instagram. Eric, thank you for joining me today, man.
Thanks for having me, Sammy. Appreciate it.
So I agree with Eric. 100%. I mean, in terms of Austin Reeves, I get the concerns that if Austin Reeves, Luka Doncic, can they coexist as a backcourt? But we saw Luka do this. Like, Luka went to the Western Conference Finals with Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson is undersized, doesn't play a lot of defense. Luka doesn't play a lot of defense, despite him being a little bit better this year. Still not known for his defense. Goes to the Western Conference Finals, goes to the championship with Kyrie Irving alongside him. Kyrie Irving, not a guy known for his defense. If you build the team out with bigs, front court depth, a lot there, I think that there can be, I think Luka and Reeves can coexist. I'm with Eric. If you could take a little bit of a hometown discount, that would be a big deal, but we'll see what happens with that. We have some Jaden McDaniels sound. So we haven't gotten in the games from last night, but the 19-point comeback from the Minnesota Timberwolves over the Denver Nuggets, Atlanta Hawks 12-point comeback over the New York Knicks. This is what Jaden McDaniels had to say forward for the Minnesota Timberwolves about the Denver Nuggets postgame.
Some of the keys offensively as to really get in the rhythm. Go out for Jokic, Jamal, all the bad defenders, Tim Hardaway, Cam Johnson, Aaron Gordon, the whole team. Like, just go at them.
They're all bad defenders.
Yeah, they're all bad defenders.
They're all bad defenders. Now, I bring this up after the Luka conversation and a Reeves conversation because I think it flows nicely. With Luka gets bashed for not playing defense, and I understand it is valid. It is if you don't believe in Luka Doncic winning an NBA championship, it is because you don't think that he is a two-way player, and it's a fair criticism. But Nikola Jokic, and Kendrick Perkins was saying this earlier on First Take, he doesn't get crushed for not playing defense, and he is not a very good defender. Jalen Brunson, not a very good defender because of his size. A lot of guys in this league are not what you would call great defenders. Shea is a decent defender, really gets covered up because Alex Caruso and Lou Dort and some excellent on-ball defenders are on the team around him. So he kind of gets covered up. Again, Sam Presti built out that roster to really kind of supplement his star guards. It is funny how we kind of nitpick certain players in the NBA that Luka gets crushed for not playing defense. I don't hear that about Jokic. I don't hear it about Jalen Brunson. Like there's only a few guys in this league that are excellent two-way players. Anthony Edwards, Jaylen Brown, Victor Wembanyama. Like you can go down the list here, and it's all very fair that maybe you think those guys will rise to the top because a lot of these guys only play offense. But it is funny hearing that sound from Jaden McDaniels. And last night, I think there's a lot of criticism over the NBA over the weekend of a lot of the games were blowouts. I mean, the first round of the NBA playoffs, there's a lot of mismatches, a lot of teams that are just simply way better than the lower seeds. But it was fun seeing Minnesota really make this thing a series. They buckled down, went after Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic in kind of on-ball actions. And the Hawks did the exact same thing to the Knicks. CJ McCollum and Jonathan Kuminga basically attacked Jalen Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns all night long, knowing that putting them in defensive motion would be a problem for them and they could get him in foul trouble. It's a lot what people have tried to do the Lakers with Luka and Reeves. It's funny seeing in the playoffs, some of these teams try to take advantage of that, even with some of the biggest stars in the game, Nikola Jokic, Jalen Brunson, and so on and so forth. So a lot to watch for there. Fun night in the NBA last night. Again, we got Lakers basketball coming up tonight, 7:30. Make sure to tune in. San Diego Sports 760. See if the Lake Show can go up 2-0. All right, coming up next, crossover time. Schaefer, Sliwa, gonna get into everything sports with them. See what's cracking on a Tuesday with them. Coming up next on Going Long, San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app. Look at that. I'm impressed. I think we all got to finally hear our imaging. Yesterday we were talking. We were surprised by our imaging for the crossover.
I like it. I do. It's better than just nothing.
Yeah.
Here we are.
Shout out to CJ Newton.
What's up, CJ?
Yeah, I like the setup there. It's better than nothing. Like that's the bar.
Big praise from John Shaver.
That's the bar.
Listen,
there's an open and then there's nothing.
I mean, who disagrees? Right.
What's up, Sammy?
What's going on, guys? How you? Saw you guys earlier today. We had a big meeting this morning.
Yeah.
Big sales meeting.
Yeah, I was shocked. There was a point. So all of like the iHeart people in San Diego, and there's a point where they said, any questions? Sammy,
where was Sammy?
John, the way Sammy got up and just said, guys, I don't agree with any of this. And he started going through. He had like 3-4 bullet points.
I was taking
100
notes.
people on the call, and there he is.
Yeah.
By the way, 9 years here in this company, 9 years. I have never asked a question.
Never asked a question.
That's not who I am. I'm not a question asking guy in that setting. I would rather do it one-on-one after the fact.
Okay, I 100% agree with you. It's like when the final bell rings and the teacher goes, "Oh, do we have any last questions?" And someone decides to put their hand up and keep everyone in their seats. You know what I mean?
There's two types of people in life.
You are a question guy.
asker.
There's two types of people in life.
You are a question
There's two
guy.
types of people. There's people that take naps.
Yeah, we said this yesterday.
There's people that don't take naps.
Are you a question asker?
And then there's the question asking people.
Alan is definitely a question asking.
Brother, I'm with you, John.
Are you?
Really?
I can ask.
If I got a question,
You'll wait.
kind of wait.
I want the one-on-one. Now, do you sit, if you're in a room with 50 people,
Yeah.
and there's 6 rows here at iHeart in the conference room, are you sitting row 1?
Yeah.
You're sitting in the first row.
Definitely not.
I'm going to give you a good example here. This is actually in what we do. So a lot of these Laker games, you're doing pressers, things like that.
Yeah.
I'm going to give me row 2 a little bit to the left, something like that.
So when you're in with JJ Redick, you're never first row middle.
No, never
You're
was.
not looking right at JJ's
That's
eyes.
how I am
Never
with
was.
San Diego State.
Yeah,
I
I'm
won't,
the same
when I'm
way.
with Sean Lewis, I'm not sitting first row.
No. But
I
I
want
need
to be
it.
there.
But I need an
Right.
angle. I need an
Yeah, you
angle.
want to see him.
You know,
I'm the same way.
See him, and maybe a PR person sees you. You ask a question,
Yeah.
something like that. But I'm not a front row
See,
seat.
I'm with you guys. Like
You're last row.
I'm definitely last
Right.
row.
Is
yeah.
he?
Yeah.
I can see that.
yeah.
Last row.
Definitely.
But he's
sit in the
last
bag.
row. But like shouts out a question, and they're like, it's not even.
Question time.
The coach isn't even here.
Q&A.
Right. That's funny.
See, my thing though is like, if you're gonna ask a question, it better not be dumb. Because if you're
Oh,
gonna
I hate
you're
that.
gonna
Yeah.
hold everyone up,
Yeah.
you know what drives me crazy? And I'm not saying this happened today because it actually didn't. But there's been previous meetings, not even necessarily here, just meetings.
Yeah, sure.
Where's he going with this?
Where
this is dangerous.
Someone asks a question basically to just praise themselves.
Yeah, you can't do that.
And let everyone know that they have something big happening. And it's like that was just you giving some self-promotion in the room.
Yeah, like Alan said earlier, there's multiple types of people.
Yeah.
Have you ever done like those personality tests in life?
Yes.
Ever? It's
Yeah.
very telling. Because like then they put people, I remember I did it at a previous employer in baseball, and they put like people in a box, like, oh, you 7 are this type, and you 4 are this type of
Got
personality. It's
profiled.
very telling, honestly. Like,
What-
oh, that's interesting. Because I do like resonate with this group over this group or whatever.
Are you an introvert or extrovert?
I would say this is so shocking whenever I tell someone this in radio or like that listens or whatever. Such an introvert. The only time I'm in this like setting and like this, and Brent's nodding his head, and I think he may be the same way, but he recognizes it in me. I'm not a public person other than this setting. In fact, public speaking, I've talked about this 100 times. I'm not a public speaker. I do it because it's part of the job.
Mm-hmm.
But I think about it I'll know, like if I've got something with San Diego State, like June 28th, I'll start thinking about it like May 15th, June 1st.
Okay, right, it's in the back of your
very
mind.
aware of it. Very aware.
Alan, are you extrovert, introvert?
I think I'm more introvert too. Yeah, I
Yeah.
kind of fall in that same category. You said one thing I want to go back to. You said that the thing that annoys you is people that ask dumb questions. First of
Yeah.
all, you've been in this business long enough. Oh, you got some dumb questions coming. I've had my fair share of like, where are you going with this question?
Oh, asking the questions?
Yeah.
There's
There's been
nothing
ti-
harder in the business. than asking.
In a press room?
No. Like in a
anything.
on the
no,
radio.
but a presser as well. Like there's
Yeah.
times where I'm
Oh, of
like
course.
starting a
Like, what am I
question.
saying?
And I'm like, what am I talking about
Completely.
as the questions go? Dumb question. you stay in this biz long enough, you're going to have a handful of dumb questions.
You guys have both been in press rooms. I have never actually been in like a press room asking questions.
That's going to change.
Yeah, it will change. But my thing where I even like doing, learning radio and trying to ask questions in an interview.
Yeah.
If someone takes my question, but it's coming up to my turn.
Oh, it's tough.
It's like my stomach falls
Anxiety.
out.
No, there's a panic attack. Yeah, there's definitely like you almost want to address the reporter that asked that question before you and say that wasn't cool.
Right.
They have no idea what you're talking about. It's like I was going to ask that damn question.
Isn't there though like an unwritten rule in those press rooms like of who gets to talk first?
Of course.
Yeah, with some of them, like oftentimes like a flagship TV or radio starts it.
But there's some OGs, right?
Oh,
like
yeah.
You definitely got there's a pecking order.
You don't want to step on any toes.
There's a pecking order.
What do you guys got coming up on the show today?
Well, we're talking Lakers basketball with Kobe Price.
Kobe Price,
join us at 5:30.
Yeah, California Post. They got the new post. They had the New York Post. Now they're doing the California Post. He'll join us at 5:30, right before JJ's presser.
Kyle Newman covers the Rockies. We've had him on the station before. He'll join us at 4:30. Padres Rockies game 1 coming up.
Are you buying into the Houston Rockets left our text line 858? 2 hours ago, Katie officially left off the team poster for the social media post for tonight.
Poster.
Now he's a game time decision.
Whose post was that? Because I saw somebody had sent me that, but was this like an NBA post? Was it a Rockets post?
Account.
Who is it?
858 is saying it's the Rockets social media post.
Yeah.
I think that's gamesmanship.
Oh,
I think that's gamesmanship. Don't put him on there and then boom, it's Willis Reed 73 or whatever.
Look at this.
Right?
Yeah, I will say this. I think if they're leaving him off, I don't think he's playing.
Interesting.
I mean, if you're
you
not
don't make the poster,
if you're not, you don't make the poster.
You don't make the poster, Katie.
It's Kevin Durant. So it's like if they
he's the face of the team.
Tari Eason off, I'd be like, I get it. It's Kevin Durant.
But you think the social media guy texted Kevin? Hey, Kev.
Hey, you playing tonight?
Are you playing? It's like, no, I'm out. Okay, good. I'll take you off my poster design.
Well, how about this? How about the games at 7:30? Don't put put the coach on there.
Yeah,
no posters. What do we do a poster for?
All right, coming up next, Schaefer Sleewa. Keep listening. I will be back tomorrow discussing the Lakers going up 2-0 on the Houston Rockets.
There you go.
Booked it right there.
And the Padres doing what?
Why are the Rockets
14 of 16?
And real quick, Rockets are 5.5 point favorites tonight.
That's telling me Kevin Durant's going to play.
You know what that tells me? That poster person needs to get his
exactly
because when Kevin
trust poster boy or Vegas
when Kevin Durant went out, the line came down to 2.5. So it's telling you it's 5.5 that they think he's going to play. All right, coming up next, keep listening. Schaefer Sleewa
here.